circling like vultures round my brain. Couldn't see the danger in your eyes. Draw me in, got me spinning now like water to a drain. You were perfect till I realized you hadn't shown your face. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along. A siren serenade, you're ringing out your praise. Your lungs are wrecking, you know it's wrong. I was deaf to the ringing bells, wanting me to break, deafened by the sirens' soothing lies. I can't leave, I am in too deep, been sinking for a while, prisoner to the same thing I despise, devoted to a fake. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along. A siren serenade, you're ringing out your praise. Your lungs are wrecking, you know it's wrong. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along. A siren serenade, you're ringing out your praise. Your lungs are wrecking, you know it's wrong. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory.
Welcome all to the final show for this week, final midweek mix-up show for this week, and this is of course the midweek mix-up podcast. Today, of course, we won't be covering any live shows, but we will be doing the best and worst of the showcases that we've seen over the last couple of weeks. And as you can see here, much shorter on numbers, but that's because, of course, we've had 4 shows in 4 days. So it's been a busy one. We've been very busy. We've had lots to cover. For me today, this will be 10 shows in 5 days. So, yes, it's been fun. It's been very busy. But it's the best time of year. It's Game of Christmas. It's Game of Christmas. Lots of new games.
It sure is.
But
Lots
Jen,
to talk about. The good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah. How are you doing today anyway? What have you been up to?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Haven't really been gaming all that much because instead I've chose to read, and I'm reading the Game of Thrones books. I am about 220 pages into it, something like that. Absolutely loving it. It's way better than the TV shows. It tells a much more vivid story.
Yeah.
Fleshes out the characters a lot better. Enjoying it. When I'm reading it, I'm finding it hard to put it down. And when I'm not reading it, it's all I'm thinking about doing is reading it. So it's a great read. I can see why people prefer the books over the show now. Now that I'm reading it myself. And likely going to pick up the rest of the books. I've got the first 2 books. So I'm going to look at picking up the rest of the books. I know 2 of them aren't out yet because George R. R. Martin hasn't finished them. But yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what I've been doing in my spare time. Not really been gaming. I don't actually remember the last time I picked up and played a game. It was last week. Little Nightmares was the last game I played. Yeah. So that's pretty much been my week of not gaming.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Literally, I think it was only yesterday that I managed to play a bit of Diablo, which was the first time I've played since last Thursday, maybe. I'd like to say the first time I've gamed since last Thursday, but that's because of obviously we did the podcast last week. Then we did the Summer Game Fest coverage. Then we had Friday off, and then Saturday the reaction show with Boxy, which was like 4 hours long. And then the live show on Sunday covering the Xbox Game Showcase, which was fun. And then the post show with Boxy. And then Monday was Ubisoft with a post show with Boxy. Tuesday was Xbox Extended with a post show with Boxy. So lots to cover. And I even jumped on Dave's podcast as well on Monday night. Sunday, Monday. I've lost track of the days now. Sunday night, I think, to talk about the showcase as well. So it's been a fun one. It's been a busy one, and I'm glad. I think even our awesome audience are probably glad to get a break from ourselves for a few days at least until next week when we return again. But it's going to be a nice light-hearted one today. We're going to be discussing the best and the worst from all the showcases that we saw across the kind of last week or so. All of the different announcements, whether that be online or offline, smaller showcases, larger showcases. But I'm looking forward to get into it.
Awkward parts of certain showcases, because there definitely was some of those, especially in Ubisoft's.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people just catch up on the stuff afterwards, and they're just like, Ubisoft stuff was good. It was like, yeah, if you didn't catch it live, the live show was
live. It was
boring.
very, very awkward, especially that weird TV show bit. It felt so awkward. Like, what the hell was? It was like I was in a fever dream, man.
Yeah,
it was so weird.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and a preemptive timeout for Vin. Yeah, not here, but I'll let him know. Permanent timeout.
Wherever he is, he's thinking about Scalebound.
Yeah, exactly. If he's even thinking it, he gets a timeout. So it's a permanent. Yes. Lady, we're definitely going to be getting into Star Wars Outlaws because that was fantastic. Really surprised us all in a much positive way. But where better to start, and I'm going to transition over. I think OBS definitely needs an update. Where better to start than the Xbox Game Showcase. And of course, God, that was a hell of a start to the showcase, wasn't it?
Even though it was my prediction that, and a few other people's prediction that Fable would start the show, it was still a surprise that they actually started the show with it.
Yeah. Caught everybody off guard, like really off guard. And what a hell of a show. And so the fallout from this, though, is that people have told them it's not gameplay. So they've had to come out repeatedly and say, no, it's gameplay. And Digital Foundry
it literally has in-game at the bottom of the screen as the footage starts.
Yeah. And even Digital Foundry were like, but we can't imagine that this is actually gameplay And then the Fable devs are like, no, it's gameplay on Series X. And there's even today had to come out and say, it's really nice that people keep telling us that that isn't gameplay when it's gameplay. I'd take that as a compliment, because that is actually how the game looks. And it looks absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal.
It does. It looks so good. I wasn't really much of a Fable fan. I think I only played a bit of Fable 2 and a very small bit of Fable 3.
Yeah.
But this excites me. They've obviously made some changes, but they're staying true to like the humor and what Fable is. Like the art style is going to be very different, because it was more stylized and different back then. But they're going for a more realistic approach here.
Yeah.
That's more than fine. As long as they stick to the feel of Fable in the humor aspect and the combat, then that's really all that matters. It looks absolutely great. It looks like it's going to be a hell of a good time, and a hell of a lot of laughs are going to be had in this game. I mean, you've got Richard Ayoade in this, and he's a hilarious British comedian, and it's making me wonder, is there going to be any other British comedians that show up in this?
Oh, I think so.
Are we going to see Ricky Gervais pop up for a small cameo? Are we going to see Matt Berry pop up for a small cameo? So yeah, it's piqued my interest more than I could ever imagine. Like I said, I wasn't really into Fable. I probably should give those games a try before these come out, and a serious try, unlike I did before. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Just new direction, but staying faithful for the humor and the combat is what I expect them to be doing.
Yeah, the good thing about them, again, is if people haven't played the original Fables, is that there's like 500 years between each of them, so they're not the same. They're not like a follow-on story. Each of them is kind of a new story-ish. I would probably say, even if you play Spidey fraud.
I will. I'll try them. I'll probably stream it.
Even 2 and 3, because even Pat played. I think Pat played 3 on stream.
I never played the first one.
Yeah, I mean, the first one, even with the update, the first one still feels a bit outdated with its controls and things. But even 2 and 3 are okay.
Second one a launch title for the 360? Because I'm pretty sure it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was either the second or third one.
Yeah.
And I got that with the 360 when it came out, but I think I only got like maybe less than halfway through it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a kid back then, so I didn't really know a lot about storytelling and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I would say even 2 or 3, they're a bit more updated with the controls, a lot easier, more friendly, and even Pat, like I say, Pat was playing it. And he was like, you can tell it's a little bit old, but it still plays well. So he was enjoying that, and I think you would, especially the decisions that you've got to make, because they are literally brutal. Like the very beginning of Fable 3 is like, you can kill your girlfriend or you kill these civilians. It's either or. You've got a choice to make. You're like, fucking hell, that's brutal.
I do remember there's like a good and bad meter, right? And you start growing horns if you're evil.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what it is if you go like 100% good direction. I remember if you were evil and you killed loads of people, like innocent people, you'd start growing horns and such. Like devil horns.
Mad concept, but it did have repercussions on what you did, and all the way through the game. It was just that's what Fable's all about, and that's one thing I hope they kind of keep, is the fact that you'll have repercussions for your choices. I think if they manage to keep,
like, I think they will. Would it be Fable if they didn't?
Yeah, I don't mind a whole brand new story and a new setting and things like that, which obviously it is, because they've got giants and things in it, judging by this, which is cool, because they didn't have that in the first one. And I think they're going more of like fairy tale Fable this time round, which sounds absolutely amazing. So I hope they do have that mechanic in still, where you kind of have that, like, you have it brutally choice, and I think they will. I do think they will. But from a graphical standpoint, that is absolutely next level. Like, I never doubted Playground, and we were all kind of stroking our chin, thinking, how are these guys going to do when they come to creating something that isn't a car game? We know how detailed their worlds are going to be, but how good are the characters going to look? And Jesus Christ, like, that is just another level.
They've more than proved themselves with this footage.
Yeah.
more than prove themselves.
And I can't wait to see more of it so people can cry. Because that's going to be the case. People are going to... and I've said this beforehand. I had to say it after the show so many times. Until people say a HUD on a game, they don't believe it's a real game.
Mm.
And this is the problem.
Yeah.
This is the problem that Hellblade's going to have, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But Hellblade is a HUDless game. It doesn't have a HUD at all, and it won't when it releases. So even when they show combat for Hellblade, people are going to doubt it's in game. That's my only problem, is because these games are looking that good. People are just refusing to believe they're that good. But this is what happens when these games are given time to cook, and they're given the full resources, and they're very talented studios. And what people don't believe is Xbox. They're just like, nah, Xbox can't make shit that looks good. Unfortunately, they can. There'll definitely be a lot of salt in the air when the official full-length gameplay feature comes out for these two. I can tell you.
They're bound to do a Skyrim deep dive developer direct thing.
I think
I didn't
even Matt
expect to
Booty's
see
kind
45 minutes of Starfield. I thought it was only going to be like 20-something minutes.
Matt Booty's referred to that today in an article, actually, with regards how he wants to show games. So he's stipulated essentially and includes when they were talking on topics for Contraband and Perfect Dark, not Contraband, sorry, Contraband and State of Decay, and Perfect Dark. He was mentioning kind of what they want to do with games is kind of give a glimpse of gameplay, and then a little bit further on give an actual deep dive gameplay, and he wants to do that for every title. So what we're likely to see is we've got the announcements. He's showed off glimpses of gameplay now for these games. So what they're expecting to do next, so for the likes of Hellblade and Fable, etc., the next time you see them, there'll be deeper dives into these games. Which is what Matt Booty's kind of coming out and saying there, which is good. It means that people will stop doubting that these things are actually in game when they're in game, which is always great. But honestly, the work that these guys are doing is absolutely phenomenal. I'm super excited for these developers to show this game off more. Like Fable, I did not expect when we came into this showcase for Fable to look just as good as it did. Like,
yeah, same here. Yeah, same. I was shocked to see it look that clean and decent, and the graphics being like next level in comparison to what we've seen from Xbox previously.
Yeah, compared to anybody, like the foliage, the lighting, like everything on that game was on point. It's just insane. Just insane. Ballantone, yes, Ninja Theory worked on Devil May Cry. It was one of the unpopular ones because it was like the emo game. So naturally, of course, the combat was good in that game, but people just look at the fact that it was an emo game and hate it. Emo Devil May Cry. But the combat was good.
I don't think I ever played that Devil May Cry game.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't. That combat was good, though. Yes,
Devil May Cry
Petran.
5 was really good, though. Enjoyed that.
Actually, who else predicted from us that they would open with Fable?
Me, Pat, I think Boxy did. I can't remember if Mick did or not.
Yeah.
But a few of us did.
Yeah, I think quite a few of them did. I didn't. I said they should leave it till the end and leave it as their one last thing. But, I mean, to be fair, it would have worked either way. I think that trailer, beginning or end, would have knocked the doors off either way. Fantastic end. And I think that one at the end actually would have been a brilliant finish to the show. Imagine waiting all the way through and that comes up as the final one. You would have been like, holy fuck. Show me more. But never mind. It was, what a kickstart. And it only got better, Jen. It only got better because the next one we saw was a brand new title from Compulsion Games, which was...
I love the art style of this. It reminds me of like claymation.
Yeah.
Very much. I can't wait to find out more. I know we've learned some information about this game. It's going to be a third-person action game, right?
Yeah.
And she's trying to cure these monsters or something.
Yes. So it's a third-person action adventure. A third-person action adventure. the devs have come out and said the art style is the art style that they're going to be using for the actual gameplay. So what you see on screen there is kind of representative of the vision of what so this is in-engine, so this is using in-engine assets. So obviously it doesn't give you a glimpse of what the gameplay is going to be like, which is the only downfall. But in terms of the visual assets and the visual kind of look that they're going for the actual game, this is the style that they're going for. So of course, one people didn't know about this was that it's something called stop motion capture. So it kind of looks like it's off frame all the time, and actually the game frame is 50. Well, the asset frame is at 15 frames a second, but then it's running at 30 and then upscaled to 60. So it looks off frame, but that's meant to look like that. It's meant to be stop motion, so it kind of looks off jaw. And Hi-Fi Rush does the same thing with their art style, but people don't realize it, of course, because it's a different kind of art style altogether again. But they use 15 to 30 and then upscale to 60 in the cutscenes. So the cutscene sections, it's 15 to 30, and then when you play in the game, it's 60 and it doesn't have the stop motion. So I think they'll probably do the same kind of thing with this. So in kind of these cinematic moments, it'll have this stop motion effect to the way the character's moving and stuff like that. But when you're actually playing, it's going to be a smoother feel to it. It's going to be that 60. So, yeah, I mean, it looks absolutely fantastic. South of Midnight, another one there.
I get Witcher vibes from this, and it's obviously going to be set in the bayou.
Yeah.
Probably like around Louisiana.
Yeah.
And I love that sort of setting. It's like right up my alley. So I'm going to be playing the shit out of this game when it comes out.
Yeah, there's the full vibe. There was a lot of the games that came out, and this one and Clockwork, the vibe and the soundtrack they used for both of them was just on point. I cannot wait to see that game, but as gameplay, and see how that artistic style kind of melds into it, because you don't see them often. It's not a style it's a rare art style to try and put into an actual game version. But I like that it's a third person action adventure. I like that it is a little bit more of a wholesome feel to it. So of course they've all been kind of, these creatures have been tainted and turned into kind of ferocious beasts, and her magic ability that she has is to kind of quench that ferociousness and revert them back to their former selves, save them essentially. But there's a kind of backstory behind that as well. I'm looking forward to kind of learning more about that. But great to eventually see what Compulsion are working on. Very intrigued to see this one come to life. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I can't wait for this. Like I said, I love the animation style in the cutscenes. It really reminds me of that like claymation sort of look with like a ceramic sort of look to it as well. I can't remember the art style you mentioned yesterday when we were in the green room before the extended showcase began.
Yeah.
But it like really reminds me of stop motion, claymation especially.
Yeah.
It's like we said, going to be a third person game. I'm imagining that it's probably going to be a little bit along the lines of The Witcher. Obviously, with it being the fact that she's curing these monsters, it's probably not going to be a game where you're driven to be killing these monsters. So it's probably going to have like sad undertones to it, where you're trying to obviously save these monsters and cure them back to their like original form before they were turned into monsters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely intriguing, and like the way the art style works in cutscenes. I'm wondering how they're going to transition that into gameplay. It's something unique, and you don't see many studios do. So it's definitely up there with my most anticipated. But don't think they gave a set release date for this.
No,
right? So
no, that was just an official
probably further
first
out than we
unveiling.
expect.
Yeah, official first unveiling. We're likely to see, I think, both of those, both Clockwork and South of Midnight. I think we'll both see those in 25. I think those are 25 games. And I think that's what they're aiming to do now. Only those that have got gameplay are getting shown off. And and those that have got gameplay are ones that are furthest along, which we know. So the build up to this showcase started in January. That's when they started going to the studios and going, okay, who's got what, who's furthest along, who's got what ready to show. We don't want you to create something specifically for this show. What we want you to do ideally is use assets or game footage that you've already got that you're working on for the game itself and make something out of that, not make something brand new. Don't just create new assets to put together some bite-sized thing. If you've got something there that you can record and make into a trailer, do that. That's
the best way to do it, though, because then it doesn't mislead anyone.
Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly what they're doing going forward. Everything that they've already got available, it's already assets they're working with for the game, is what we've seen. So yeah, fantastic to see what Compulsion's next game is. And this one I'm going to steal from the Ubisoft section we're going to talk about, because it got unveiled at Xbox and it's a big get. And your hype was through the roof when this got announced.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this was what I was looking forward to the most out of the Ubisoft showcase.
Yeah.
And they saved it for last. I am super excited for this game. It gives me heavy Red Dead Redemption vibes. I'm pretty sure there's been some talking points come out on this. I haven't had a chance to read articles about the information on this game, but from the gameplay itself, it gives me huge Red Dead vibes. Obviously, set in a sci-fi universe, and that universe being Star Wars, which I'm an absolute massive fan of. It really does look pretty. You can tell that they've got their A-team on this from Massive.
Yeah.
And obviously they are going to do that because it's Star Wars. It's one of the biggest IPs on the planet. And they can't drop the ball on this. Whether they do is another thing.
Yeah.
But I don't expect them to, because if it's flops, then chances are Disney aren't gonna let them make a sequel or whatever else Star Wars Disney might throw their way. But it looks impressive.
Yeah, one thing I noticed,
they showed 10 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah.
From on-ground combat to space combat to being able to travel at the speed of light to another planet completely, and it really does look ambitious.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I immediately, obviously, when it was unveiled, I was like, okay, now I just want to see what it looks like. And then they said immediately after that, gameplay tomorrow. I was like, yes, hallelujah.
Which I wasn't expecting.
Nope.
I just thought we were going to have the teaser and that be it until next year.
Yeah. But then we got the trailer, of course, at Ubisoft Forward, and it absolutely blew me away. I did not expect it, A, to look this good, or B, to look this fun. This was, again, what to me, like an outlaw version of a Jedi Survivor. That's what it looks like, an open-world outlaw, but it's even more complex and even more detailed because it just goes next level. So the gameplay, of course, rolled in. We were all kind of gobsmacked at how good it was looking, first of all. But secondly, then we saw some crazy stuff. So you had speeders to travel around on, and then like speeder gameplay. You've got the kind of slow motion shooting ability when you're on your bike to kind of take.
That really reminds me of a
like
Dead from Red Dead Redemption as well. Yeah.
And then to cap it off, you get in your spaceship and you control the flight following takeoff through the atmosphere into space, and then have space battles. Like, what? Like, this is a lot.
I was expecting the typical Star Wars fashion where like a big Star Destroyer comes out of nowhere, but we didn't actually see that.
Yeah.
We saw that in the trailer, the main trailer at the Xbox showcase. But I was expecting to see that in gameplay, but they're probably going to save that for a little bit later.
Yeah.
But it just looks so pretty. It's.
You know what it is, though? Even watching the 4K
distracted
footage
by the
back,
gameplay right now that's on screen.
Yeah, even watching the 4K footage back, though, you can absolutely tell that this is completely in-game work and running. Like, this is not far off. You can tell that this is in-game assets, which is even better for it.
They've probably been working on this game longer than we knew about, because we heard rumblings about this game. It was either a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And for it to look this pretty, they must have been working on it for some time.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Probably been working on this longer than they were working on the Avatar game.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's still a few things to polish out. There's still a little bit of pop in. There's still a little bit of jaggedness here and there. But really good to see actual hands-on, fully running gameplay of this game, like, immediately after announcing it. It looked phenomenal. I loved, there was so many little details that they included on there, like, which you'll see shortly, but when you accept the mission or you complete the mission, you've got that kind of hands, like the solo banner kind of art style in the middle of your screen. When you're wanted by the Empire, you've got a wanted thing kind of flash transparently on the screen. Yeah,
I definitely feel like their biggest inspiration for this game is the Red Dead games.
That and
Obviously,
Jedi.
in the Star Wars
I definitely
setting.
think they've looked at Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor and thought, these guys have done
definitely.
a really good job with the story aspect of this, and it works. We've seen it commercially that it works.
It's also a nice change of pace that you're not a Jedi
Yeah.
this time around. You're just a normal person
Yeah.
with a gun, up to some shenanigans.
Yeah. What do you call what does Han Solo call themselves again? What is he classed as? A runner. Is it a runner?
Smuggler?
That's the one. That's exactly what she is. She's just a smuggler. She's like a Han Solo essentially. Which is awesome. And her little sidekick, instead of being a giant Wookiee, is a tiny little multi-million selling plushie. Yep.
Yep, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if those things are already on sale at Disneyland.
Oh, there will be soon, no doubt. If they do a good job, we've seen what's happened with Jedi. They've already got him as one of the kind of actual lore characters now, with his sword and everything in there. So, there's no doubt if she does a good job, you never know, she could go in there as a character. They have to make sure they knock it out the park first.
They're going to make millions off that little dog thing now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what like in Star Wars lore, what species of animal that is, but
do you think the decisions that you make
they're going to make money on it?
Do you think the decisions that you make on screen will have an actual impact on anything, or do you think they're just folks' decisions?
I believe so. Marion did send me some information from an article. I believe that your choices in this matter. So if you cross one of the other crime syndicates in it, you sort of build up a reputation with them, and they'll come after you.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that wanted flash on the screen there as well. Like, that is awesome. As soon as you leave the thing, it's like wanted. It's like all over the TV screens and that. You're like, oh shit. Yeah, we'll go. That's because of the decision you made.
I mean, it's definitely got some inspiration from Rockstar games, like even GTA, like that wanted thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, they won't have their, or it does kind of look like they have that 6-star wanted, because if you look at the top left-hand corner, there's the Empire symbol.
Yeah.
And it's on the third red bar. And it's flashing. So it looks like they could have that sort of system. And who knows, maybe they can chase you down across space until you lose that wanted system.
And it looks like they've done that, to be honest, because as soon as you enter the atmosphere, there's like TIE fighters chasing you. And you like try to get rid of them and shoot them down. And I mean, the fact that you can just go from atmosphere straight into space there, and then go into like straight into ship combat is just insane. Like,
it's going to be interesting. I'm hoping that they send bounty hunters after you as well, and you maybe you can get the likes of Boba Fett chase you down or something like that.
That's like max level.
This is around the time when Boba Fett was sort of a bad guy, done work for the Empire. So it'd be interesting if like famous Star Wars characters show up.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But yeah, it was phenomenal to see it. Next year, next gen only consoles. Yeah. And actual full on gameplay. So we could see the meat and potatoes of
I
it.
can't believe it's next year. That comes as such a surprise.
Yeah. Absolutely. But going back to the actual tray there, I'm not going to go over all of them because there was a lot of filler stuff in there. We had 33 Immortals. I'm not going to put the gameplay on for that one, but a nice little indie 33 player co-op hack and slash top down raid game. How do you feel about that?
I wasn't too sure when I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
But we did get an extended look at it yesterday at the extended show.
Yeah.
And it made me more interested in it.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought, is it going to be one of them games where so many players are on screen at once? It's just going to be a mess to see who's who.
Yeah.
It probably will be if everyone's in the same location at the same time. But it doesn't appear to throw everyone in the same place at the same time. It seems like they scatter the players up. So, like, you and a group of players will spawn in one section of the map and another somewhere else and another somewhere else. So it'll be like small groups. And then basically you can, I guess, meet up because like it's a very big open world sort of thing. It gives me Hades vibes.
Yes.
If Hades was 33 player co-op.
Yeah.
It's going to be insane because we all played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, and that was hectic when there was 6 people on screen.
Yeah.
The sprites are smaller in this.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's going to be nuts.
It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be nuts when all 33 players are on screen at once.
Yeah.
Can you imagine doing a community night on this? I don't think you can even get 33 people in an Xbox Live party. So yeah, it's going to be a fun one to try out at least.
Absolutely.
And who knows? Maybe it becomes a instant hit like Vampire Survivors did.
Oh, absolutely.
Phil looked really passionate about it, which excites me that it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, most definitely. Then we got, and I'm not bothered about it, but straight into Gamepass for those that loved it or like it. Payday 3 announcement and gameplay reveal, and straight into Gamepass day 1. So, nice little announcement there for people who like Payday. Not so much for me.
I'm not really a fan of Payday.
Yeah.
Didn't play the first one, tried the second one a little bit.
Yeah.
It looks and feels like very outdated. And even the new one looks outdated. The gameplay seems like it's going to be clunky. Again, can't speak on that. Haven't played that. But I will try it out on Game Pass because it is coming to Game Pass. So it won't hurt to try.
Yeah.
Maybe it turns out to be decent, and maybe I'll become an instant Payday fan. But I don't expect that.
Exactly. But the joy of Game Pass is you can try them all, and if you don't like them, there's no loss. I'm going to bundle the next lot into one. So we got an awesome 2 reveals for Persona fans. First of all, you got Persona 3 Reload, which is a remake of Persona 3 coming day 1 to Game Pass. Of course, that was unfortunately leaked pretty much the day before the showcase. That was also followed by Persona 5 Tactica, which is also going into Game Pass day 1. So awesome announcements there. But outside of those, the next big one we got to see was Avowed. Now, of course, art style wise, it's caught people off guard because they were expecting super, should we say, realistic gameplay.
So I don't know why people thought that, considering we've already seen Obsidian's previous work, and they choose art style over super visual graphics.
Yeah.
We saw it with Outer Worlds. So I don't quite understand why people were expecting this game to be a hyper realistic experience.
I think it's the initial trailer
me?
they thought, but then even then, that initial trailer is just in a cave, and you could probably reenact that exact same moment in the cave, and it looked very similar. I would imagine.
To me, I think this looks absolutely
Oh, it looks
awesome.
beautiful.
I love the art style of this.
It just reminded straight away. I just thought Outer Worlds. Just it's Outer Worlds, like but Skyrim. It's like super vibrant.
It's like Bethesda has their Fallout and they have their Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
So this is just going to be Obsidian's, I guess, take on those sort of.
I was going to say so Obsidian have got Outer Worlds, which is their Fallout essentially, the space Fallout, and this Avowed, which is their Skyrim, and it looks super cool, very vibrant, lots of powers, lots of abilities, a 25 to 30 hour RPG in size roughly. So an interview afterwards, they discussed the size of the game that was on the extended showcase. And she said probably in line with the size, kind of lengthwise as Outer Worlds, which was around 25 to 30 odd hours. So it's around about that 30-hour mark for the game. That's probably not including side quests. You're talking probably about 40 odd hours with side quests. But
I came out well impressed with this. I don't understand why some people were sort of criticizing it.
Yeah,
it's as I expected from Obsidian.
Yeah, super good looking.
I mean, all big RPG games like this always choose gameplay and art style over out of this world visual graphics. You're never going to get a massive RPG game that looks out of this world insane. They're going to compromise somewhere because of how big the world is and all the other stuff that goes into that game technical wise that I don't know about because I'm not smart enough to talk on those things.
Yeah, super impressive. I'm really looking forward to it. As soon as and you said it, the moment it came on screen and the moment it started showing gameplay, we were both like, "I need to play Skyrim."
Yeah, I got Skyrim installed again because of this. This made me want to play Skyrim.
Yeah,
and it's going to be nice to have something
like modern
in between, waiting for the new Elder Scrolls and playing Starfield.
Yeah, and this is just a modern take on that kind of idea. But saying that, it's a whole new, it's a aura. It's suitable for anybody to get into, whether or not they've played Pillars of Eternity. For Pillars fans, they're gonna have awesome kind of throwbacks to that. They've got a few characters in the game that are from the Pillars, the last Pillars expansion, as well as the last Pillars game. So there's a few main characters.
I also would say to the same people that are criticizing this, look at Starfield a year ago.
Yeah.
In comparison to what that game looks like now.
Yeah, an extra year.
You can see the drastic changes. It's night and day.
Yeah.
Don't count out that this game might not change and look better.
I love it the way it is, to be fair. I mean, it's going to look better by the time it launches. It's definitely going to be cleaner.
It's an instant day one play for me, this game.
Yeah.
It's all I could have imagined.
Yeah.
From that type of like fantasy world.
And
it's all I want.
Gameplay. We got this is definitely out of the two games that are the two big ones that are slated for next year already in Hellblade and Avowed, this is definitely the one that I think is releasing first.
I feel like this could be between March, May sort of time.
Yeah, I think it's the first quarter of next year.
So I would expect a developer direct on this probably early next year, possibly later this year.
I would think the release date later this year.
If they have a developer direct,
they've kind of hinted at it as well.
Year,
and shout out to Petran in the chat there. He mentioned, of course, the Giant Bomb interview with Phil Spencer and Matt Booty. And on that note, and again, a lot of people haven't seen that and haven't heard it. But with regards games that weren't shown today, he said, don't look into that too much because these were just games that were back in January, were the ones that were closest or best to show right now. and that's 6 months ago. So it's like these are games that have been already okay. 6 months. This is 6 months today, and they're already discussing Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show, the Game Awards, and another what they mentioned and another show. So they've essentially said, listen, we'll also be kind of looking at another show here, potentially this year. And
I'd
having
imagine that'd be another developer direct sort of thing, not like a single direct. You'll probably see a few different games in
a
there.
couple of different games. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Fable, not Fable, sorry, if it's Avowed and Hellblade in that developer direct. To kind of give a little bit more detail in that and show the game off a bit more and potentially the release dates on them. It's fantastic. I can't wait to see more of it. I can't wait to get the official date for it. But it to me, this one looks the furthest along. This one looks like this one's launching.
I think Avowed is probably the trailer I've watched the most from this showcase. Again, because I love those types of games.
Yeah, see, mine was the next trailer along, which we're gonna, not the next one, but Mick loved this one. I'm gonna put this one on for Mick. So eventually, after months of knowing it's coming, we just didn't know when. We eventually got the announcement of the Monkey Island expansion, free expansion for Sea of Thieves. That's what I love about Sea of Thieves the most.
So excited.
Yeah.
He got proper excited during the live show, and it was amazing to see. He absolutely loves Sea of Thieves, and I can see why.
Yeah, and it's especially Monkey Island. It's a game both of us have grown up on, and we knew that it was coming into it, and it was a case of they were teasing it and asking questions at Sea of Thieves Fest for months, like what would you do if we had this in, so on and so forth. So yeah, it's great to see it out in the wild. Sea of Thieves is absolutely going from one knocking it out the park to the next. Free big updates all the time. Free expansions like this, like the Pirates of the Caribbean one. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Hats off to them. They've done a really great job again of capturing the vibe of Monkey Island, capturing the jokes and the silliness, and they've Captain LeChuck in there, and Grievous Threepwood, and the Talking Skull, and I keep forgetting his name again. Someone in chat's gonna throttle me for forgetting his name. But yeah, they've got everything in there that you could want from it. Can't wait to play it. And again, it's next month, 20th of July. Free. It starts, so they're doing episodic. So I think it's every month there's a new episode for it. And much like the Pirates of the Caribbean one, it'll stay in there, and you can just select it on the menu and jump into it, and play that single player, say kind of party co-op expansion with everybody else. So thank God for that.
And I'm sure we'll be playing some of this on Sea of Tuesdays.
Yes, most definitely. Can't wait for it to release. Next one was a bit of a surprise. Caught everybody off guard, because it turns out this is a brand new flight simulator. Not an update, not an expansion. It's a whole new game. A whole new one. Microsoft were debating with the team whether or not it was an iterative update or not, and the team said, no, we've made enough strides in both technology and graphics to actually have this as an entirely separate game. We've made enough strides on the technological front to do that. So we're gonna release another game, and we're gonna be showing it off. And this time, it's very career focused: search and rescue, aerial firefighting, cargo deliveries, private jet transports, skydiving pilot. You name it, there's a job, and you can do it. Like military covert ops, kind of plane deliveries, and crop dusting. What like, if there's anything aviation wise to do with piloting, they've got it. It's insane, and the level of detail on this
crazy.
game.
I'm not much of a simulator person or whatever. I don't really play many simulator games, but like this is kind of what I wanted to see come into Flight Sim, and it is. So it was kind of crazy to see them take like this direction of all these different like careers involving airplanes and helicopters and whatnot. I mean, you can even fly fucking hot air balloons in this. It's crazy.
It's just like they're like scientific research, like studying tornadoes, and that's a new addition, by the way. Like actual like tornadoes that like damage the landscape and stuff like that. Like what?
There's like going to be experimental vehicles in this as well.
Yeah,
it's a very ambitious flight sim, and it looks insane.
Yeah, and of course coming to Game Pass day one in 2024. And by the way, people, we've already had clarification from Matt Buddy. Flight Sim 2024 does not count towards the 4 in a year target that they've got for games releasing every year. So we know 3 of them already. We know Avowed, we know Hellblade, and we know Towerborne. Towerborne does count as 1. It's a new IP. It's a brand new game. That does count as 1. It's not AAA, but he doesn't care if it's AAA, AA, or what. As long as he gets 3 per quarter, well, 4 a year, or 1 per quarter, 1 substantial new game per quarter, that's his aim. And that's their aim. So we've got 2 major AAA IPs in Hellblade and Avowed, 1 AA in Towerborne. So there's 1 more yet to fit in somewhere next year. What that might be, we shall have to wait and see. But they're not done talking. They're not done announcing, as they've said quite clearly on the Giant Bomb interview. So still plenty to look forward to.
There's loads of events this year, and Game Awards is sure to be a big one. It's the 10-year anniversary of the Game Awards.
Yeah,
I would fully expect Microsoft sharp with a big announcement, maybe 2 announcements. Who knows how many announcements they could put there.
Yeah.
Same with PlayStation. I expect them to have a big presence at the Game Awards this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's a significant one, so I expect Jeff to be going all out with it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't count that out that they would announce something there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A nice little update as well for the current Flight Simulator, which is the ongoing service game. So 2024 looks more like a career game now. The ongoing service game, Microsoft Flight Simulator, without its number, is continuing to be fully kind of, as you do with the likes of Skyrim and things like that, fully moddable, so people can add new planes and new airports and new areas, and people can do that on there. So that's going to stay there for God knows how many years. People are going to continue to iterate on that game until it's pretty much packed to the brim with planes and content. So what we did get was a Dune add-on releasing with the film in December. And that's it's not just the craft from Dune, it's an entire map created for the game, which we found out in the extended showcase. An entire map from Dune created for the game. And it has a mission in there as well. And it's a free add-on coming to Flight Sim this December.
And towards the end of it, he said he couldn't speak on it, but he said there's going to be a big ending to that content. And I'd imagine it'd probably be that massive sandworm.
Yeah, that'll be quite unreal to see, but it's going to look great. Flight Sim looks absolutely astonishing. It is a technological marvel that they've still got that game running on console hardware in itself. It's a big user of resources on PC, let alone on console. So the fact that they've got it looking this good and running on console in the first place is just hats off to Asobo and Xbox Game Studios for getting that put out. It's unbelievable. And another one, the next big one, was of course the Hellblade II trailer, and it was both a great thing to look at and a slight disappointment, because of course, like everybody, we're itching to see that combat gameplay, and still, unfortunately, we haven't got it. Now, it is, thankfully, announced now to be coming out next year, which means it isn't too much longer until we do see an in-depth, deep dive into the gameplay of this game, as opposed to just story gameplay, which is what they're doing. They're trying to craft a little bit more story elements into these trailers, regardless of whether or not the gameplay, and it is gameplay running on Series X, which they confirmed. So it does look unbelievably pretty, which is, of course, the standout that we know. We've seen it 3 times now in game, and every time it looks just as beautiful. So there is absolutely no doubt this game's going to look stunning.
It looks amazing, but it also looks like it's going to be far more claustrophobic than the first game.
Yeah.
Especially with her crawling through that like bit of cave there.
Yeah.
I've watched people like on YouTube crawl into those tight gaps, and it just sort of freaks me out. I would not want to be stuck in somewhere like that, especially a chunky guy like me.
Oh god, yeah. As soon as it started, I was like, oh god, claustrophobia. I was like, oh, get me out of that.
Having a panic attack if I was stuck down there.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, visually, of course, astounding. Audiologically, with the voices and everything, another level again. You have to watch this trailer with headphones on if you haven't already. The sound quality is absolutely next level. Ninja Theory know what they're doing. Like I said, the only downside...
You definitely need headphones for that. Even the first game, with the 3D audio,
you have to.
You could hear all the voices moving around you. It's like creepy.
Yeah, and it's not just that. This time around, they've went next level with it, so it's not just the voices. They've went and recorded literally like water drops and ice cracking and everything in complete 3D audio, so the entire surrounding and the world around you is recorded like actually in 3D, so it sounds like you're in part of the game. They've been in like snowstorms in the middle of Norway and things like that, recording like crunching snow sounds. Literally, the level of detail they've put into this game is just insane. We just need to see that combat. I know how much they've worked on the combat. It's a shame that people either don't know what I know or still don't trust Ninja Theory to be able to show that combat off yet. I trust them to deliver when they do show it off. But it's just a case of others won't until they see it. And of course, and I mentioned this earlier, but until people see something with a controller in their hands, and with Hellblade being a no HUD game, so at no point during the game do you have a heads-up display. It is a completely cinematic look. There's no kind of bars, there's no health bar or anything like that. In the previous game, the reason you knew you had low health or your health was diminishing was because every time you died or got killed, essentially the black death was kind of creeping up your arm until if you died too many times, it would be permadeath. So you had to avoid that. In this game, I don't know how they're going to manage that, or how you're going to know kind of what your health is there, but I'm assuming it's going to be something that is going to be similar to that. You're going to have some form of like visual effect on a body or something that would kind of allude to the fact that she's getting closer to permanent death. But they want to do it in a very cinematic way. So this game's going to look fantastic. It's going to run fantastic. It's just a case of I want to see more. Unfortunately, that wasn't
Next time they show this, they have to show combat gameplay.
Yeah, they do. Well, not just combat. I think they need to just do a little bit of a longer gameplay section of it.
They need to do a full in-depth.
Yeah, they do. They need to do a proper gameplay in-depth, even if it's like an opening sequence, like a 10-minute snippet of fighting a couple of goons or something like that, and solving a little, I don't know whether a puzzle or showing a bit of the map and fighting a couple of the goons on the map, or just something to show what it is. But again, without a HUD, which this game doesn't have one, I still believe people won't believe it's gameplay until they've got their hands on it. People are still going to call it out and still say it's not gameplay, it's CGI, until they've actually played it. But I trust it. I trust when I see it next, we'll see a good showing for it. It's a shame that it didn't show, because it's the one I was looking forward to the most, and it at the end of the show, it wasn't one of the ones that I remembered. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah, I definitely felt it didn't show enough of Hellblade.
Yeah, it didn't. That trailer wasn't.
What they did show was absolutely pretty.
It was super pretty, audio-wise, stunning. Like story-wise, really great, but it wasn't the best trailer for this show. People wanted to see a little bit more of it, and I don't blame them. So sooner rather than later now, we know it's coming out next year, which means gameplay isn't that far off now. Like, full gameplay is not that far off. But yeah, I still think it's this year that we see full gameplay at one of the shows. I wouldn't put it past, I said this the other day, I wouldn't put it past them because they missed Game Awards last year, but it's been at every other Game Awards. I wouldn't put it past them being the last thing they do this year is give Hellblade's release date at the Game Awards with combat gameplay or something similar to that. Okay, here's the actual release date for next year, releasing. I think it's probably going to, like I say, be out after Avowed. Maybe it's the September game for next year. A little bit further out, give them that a little bit extra time. But I think that could be the second half of next year, this one. I think it'll be Avowed first quarter, Hellblade third quarter, Towerborne second quarter, and then a holiday game. Whatever that might be. Whatever that might be. So yeah. Again, super looking forward to Hellblade, but that trailer left a lot to be desired. Is all I'll say for that. Next, we got the reveal trailer for a new Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Was that one in Game Pass as well, day one?
I can't remember, to be honest.
I don't know. I don't think it was. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was. We then got your obligatory Fallout 76 trailer. I'm not even going to discuss it.
Showcases.
Yep. No, it wasn't. Thanks, chat, for clarifying that. Thank you. So no, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth was not, but they did announce it here first, which is a first for Xbox. So it is a big get for them still, because of course they look like they've got, surprisingly, they've got the Like a Dragon rights, at least anyway, for the advertising, which is a big get for them. So that's both Persona and Like a Dragon for rights. After Fallout 76, another one. So they've got the rights for the advertising for Capcom's new game, Kunitsu.
And this is in Game Pass the day it comes out.
Yeah. We will show the gameplay for this one, because this one made us think of Onimusha, like, immediately.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was. I was like, no, they've rebooted Onimusha and it's going to be coming to Xbox.
And this game is Game Pass day one. Looks fantastic. Looks really fun. It's definitely different. But it just reminded me of Onimusha straight away, and we said it multiple times, and eventually got the name. But we were just like, I just give me Onimusha vibes. But
yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm going to play it, because I absolutely loved the first Onimusha game.
Yeah,
I remember beating the game and you unlock a panda outfit. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Again, another very vibrant game. Very vibrant game. You're clearing the plague using whatever this pom-pom sword is that you've got. Woohoo! Pom-pom
It's very
sword.
Devil May Cry as well. Because when you're in areas in Devil May Cry and you're fighting, you've got those like weird glowy sort of doors that are blocked until you finish the area. And that looks very similar here, like when creatures show up.
Yeah.
So I get definite Onimusha vibes and Devil May Cry vibes from this.
And another huge get for Xbox in their mission to repair relationships in the Asian territory. It's been damaged for a while, and the fact that they're getting Persona, Like a Dragon, a new Capcom game on here, like both Personas are in day one on Game Pass. This brand new Capcom game's in Game Pass day one. Advertising rights for the new Like a Dragon, and that wasn't even the end of it. There was another new game later on that they announced that was another. It was by the creators of Persona.
Creators of Persona, Metaphor.
Metaphor, yeah.
It had a sub name, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. Re-Invazio, I think it was called. Next up, Forza Erwin's favourite game, Forza Motorsport. Of course, looks absolutely fantastic. They did a deep dive on this yesterday evening during the Xbox Extended Showcase, weirdly,
I
on their
didn't get
own
a chance
YouTube
to
channel.
check that out yet.
They've got a full... They've kind of turned this into not just a sim racing game, but a proper CRPG. So you when you're racing in the car, you level up that car and you earn experience for that car specifically, and it gets better and better and better. So it's kind of you kind of come accustomed to each car individually, and you level it up in order to unlock parts, as opposed to just getting credits all the time. So the more you race in a car, and the better you get with that car, the more experience you get. They've got full race rules and everything on there now, and penalty system. So yeah, it's looking mightily impressive visually. Of course, full ray tracing on track, 4K 60 on Xbox with real-time ray tracing, a full-fledged career mode, revamped AI, and it's available on October 10th, and in Game Pass. So yeah, looks fantastic. I'm gonna play it. Erwin's gonna get the premium pass, and he's gonna enjoy that. So happy days indeed. Eventually,
Yeah,
get that release
I'm
date.
not much of a car guy, but I'll be trying it in Game Pass. And
Yeah,
like I said, can't hurt to try it. It's in Game Pass.
and the
Doesn't
one
cost me anything extra.
I was gonna say, the one thing as well is everyone's gonna turn it on just to see the visuals and go, Jesus Christ, that looks beautiful. Even if they do it for half an hour and then be like, right, I've had my game.
That's one thing I like about the Forza games is it's a visual treat
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
just look at. Even just going in like and looking around the car is a visual treat.
Yeah,
And like I said, not much of a car guy, so I'm not going to play it for hours on end. Like Forza Owen's going to play it, or Pat's going to play it, or yourself's going to play it.
yeah,
I'll jump in for a few races with the lads, and that'll probably be it for me.
yeah, yeah. Well, that is again with Starfield, which we'll get to because that one showed big time. But with Starfield releasing in September, that one releasing in October, when we're in the middle of our season shift on Starfield, which will take us God knows how many hundreds of hours to play, it'll be a nice palate cleanser to jump on Forza. And
That game is going to consume so many hours of
yeah,
everyone that's playing its time.
absolutely. Following Forza, we got DLC for Elder Scrolls Online, Journey to Necrom.
Mhm.
We then got $15 DLC for Invasion, which is the story missions for Overwatch 2. As mentioned before, the Persona 5 Tactica announcement trailer, which obviously is going into Game Pass day one. Then we got a cool couple of like indie games coming up here. One of them, the first one's called GoesseN, which is a pretty little kind of weird exploration adventure game with a cute little creature on your back. It was like a climbing game. I don't know what it's about yet. I'd love to learn more about it, see what it's about.
It's hard to say, but it's definitely like one of them climbing sort of
Exploration
themed,
story games.
Yeah, exploration games. Whether there's going to be combat to this is obviously hard to tell right now.
Yeah.
Was there any combat in the trailer? I can't remember, to be
It was
honest.
more of exploration, more of like
Mm.
getting from point A to point B, and you had a little town and a little settlement and things up the sky. So, like, we'll look to see more, but it could just be a nice little story game.
Mhm. Was this Game Pass as well?
Yes, yeah, Game Pass day one. Yeah. So we
Definitely something I'll be giving a try.
Yeah,
It looks interesting enough to get me to install it and play it.
yeah, super pretty art style. Really like a nice simplistic art style there, cell shading. Yeah, looks cool.
And the little creature that's designed to sell plushies.
Yeah, and don't normally miss. Don't Nod release really good indie games, so yeah, it should be quite fun. I'm interested in seeing how it all plays out and what the premise is of the game and what you're meant to be doing on the game. But no doubt we'll learn more soon.
Definitely looks like there's a lot of biomes in this game.
Yeah, a lot of different kind of traversal things you need to get through and tricky parts. Next one's right up Jordan Street. This one Still Wakes the Deep, which looks like a sea creature horror game on a remote oil rig, and that caught my eye immediately, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. This looks super
I feel like
creepy.
this is going to be a very claustrophobic horror type game.
Yeah.
With like crawling around an oil rig.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell what's chasing you because I don't think they actually show you.
I think it's something that's come up
anything.
from the deep when you've been mining on this oil rig. And it's pissed off. It's chasing you down. Like, you can see people just vanishing off the side of things and, like, getting dragged down hallways and stuff. So, yeah, it's definitely an intriguing look. It was just a little snippet, but I'm excited to see what that is. And that, of course, jumps into Game Pass as well. Day 1, early 2024.
It's probably going to be a very tense experience playing that.
Yeah. Yep.
And something to laugh at if I'm playing it on stream.
Yep. Yeah,
I'll
why
be
so
shitting
serious?
my pants.
Why so serious says, it's Gojira. Gojira. Yeah, that looks really cool. Another indie game there with another cool style. Dungeons of Hindenburg. Funky style.
So when this first came on, I thought this was going to be something to do with Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so did I. I thought it was going to be the expansion. But, of course, we got the expansion yesterday for Hi-Fi Rush with 2 new game modes and things like that. So, but no, this is like an open-world action RPG game with a really cool art style. I'm looking forward to kind of looking more into it and see what it's about. But, yeah, it looks pretty cool. And again, Game Pass Day 1. You can't lose.
Yep. Don't have to pay anything extra. Install it, try it. If you don't like it, uninstall it.
Yeah. What do you make of the art style? Because it's definitely a different one.
Yeah, I quite like it. I get, as much as I haven't played the games, I get a bit of Breath of the Wild vibes from this, from what I've seen in Breath of the Wild. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a game I'm going to install and try out.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a dungeon crawler, so I'd imagine the dungeons are like procedurally generated. I don't know much about it. Definitely need to have a look into it, see what the devs have got to say about it, a bit more information before I'm like 100% in on this game. But going into Game Pass, can't hurt to try it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So nice little addition there. Nice little addition. Next up, of course, we got our brief first look at Phantom Liberty. Oh, this poor game. Why did they have to place it in between Starfield and Forza?
Yeah, I mean, if this wasn't coming out the same month as Starfield, I would be all over this.
Yep.
But it's coming out the same month as Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
And that game is going to swallow my entire life for a good few months.
Yeah. Yeah. It looked, I'll tell you what, mind, this expansion looks absolutely awesome. It looks like the story's going to be absolutely amazing. You've got Idris
we can't
Elba.
forget Keanu Reeves was on stage announcing that. He's so wacky and cool, that guy.
Keanu Reeves and Idris Elba.
Impossible to hate.
In an expansion, what more could you ask? It looks absolutely phenomenal. Looks really
It's
cool.
going to be good when I eventually get round to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
After I put a couple thousand hours into Starfield.
I think it's going to be my one of my holiday games.
It'll be on sale by then as well. So
yeah, and it's I think it's 30
percentage off.
I think it's 30 for the expansion. It's a substantial one.
25 quid for UK and $30 for US.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But yeah, look, mightily impressive. It's a whole new area. The cities went to shit because the president's Space Force One has crash landed in the middle of the city, and you've got to go and rescue her. So yeah, certainly going to be interesting. And we get hints that maybe
V will get a cure to the issue she has with the chip in her head.
What I can gather from this is, for those who have played up until the final mission before you get into the elevator, it seems like this mission starts where you get a phone call outside the elevator going, I've got a task for you to do and I think I can cure you. Instead of you taking the elevator and you're making those final two decisions, because we know the final two decisions are you live, Johnny dies, or Johnny lives, you die. That's the only decisions you get at the end of that. And of course, every one of them's got a different ending. So everyone's ending's different depending on how you've played it and what decisions you make. There's like 8 endings. So yeah, it looks like it begins at that point. So if you're at the elevator waiting to make that decision, this looks like that story goes from there. Next up, Cities Skylines 2, going straight into Game Pass day 1. Looks super cool.
Yep, definitely a game I'll play. Like when I'm looking for something chill to play, I'm not in a mood for like an action intense game. Just pop that on, build a city over time. I don't play those games for hours on end, but it's nice to play those games when you're like not in a mood to play anything action heavy. Just want to sit there, maybe listen to some music, throw this game on, build away. It's more of a time passing game to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll just end up poisoning all my residents again, like I managed to do every time. Because my water sewage system, regardless of how many times I've got sewage systems in place, and it's saying your water quality is very high, everyone's getting poisoned. I'm like, why? Why is everyone poisoned? What is happening?
Just turn up the natural disasters to like 100% and just watch chaos unfold.
We've got like emergency services working overtime cleaning up dead people and like sick people, and I'm like, why is everyone so sick and unhealthy? What's going on? The pollution level's really low, the water quality's really high, you've got all the health services nearby. I don't get why you're dying. Help me. That's my life on SimCity, or at least City Skylines.
I think that's just everyone's life on every simulator game that's similar to that. Like even when I was playing that Jurassic World Evolution 2, just my dinosaurs were always getting sick and dying. Like, what do I do? Tell me, game, help me.
Well, they've got everything. They've got food, they've got water, they've got a great space. What are you doing? Why are you killing my animals? So yeah, we're really good at these simulators. So we're really good at killing things in these simulators. Yes, the next game that was announced was Metaphor Refantasio for all platforms. Actually, this is a bit of a different one. So again, the makers of Persona, as it stands, and I've checked a couple of times now, but on their website for Metaphor, it is still only showing coming to Xbox Series X and S and PC.
I think a few people mentioned it might be exclusive, or at least timed exclusive.
It looks it's if it was just a like Xbox's thing and they're advertising it that way, that's fine. But it's the fact that it's on their own website, they're not showing any other platforms, is making me think there is some exclusivity to this, which would be massive for Xbox if that is true. I just don't know what to make of it yet. I'd before saying they've definitely got that, I kind of want official clarification on it. And as of yet, I don't think Metaphor's had that official clarification. I don't know whether or not, Jen, in the background, you can kind of have a look at it and see whether or not they've clarified it yet. But Metaphor Refantasio, is it exclusive?
I'll do a quick Google search.
Yeah, it's a bit of a.
So the Metaphor Refantasio isn't an Xbox exclusive, unfortunately, but it isn't. Wait, it's weird. I don't know.
Yes, they don't have confirmation either.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What have they said?
I'm not sure if it's a website I trust, to be honest. There's so many articles here, and none of them are even what I've searched for. It's just about the game itself. None of them have got anything that confirms whether it's coming to any other console. Just says here, Metaphor ReFantazio launches on PC, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and likely the PlayStation 5 sometime in
but it
2024.
isn't.
So there's no confirmation.
Yeah, I was going to say, but it isn't because it's not on their own website.
Yeah, that's a weird one. It's something to look out for, I guess, until they've
The
really come out
gamer
and cleared
says,
the air.
interestingly, it appears that Metaphor is going to be exclusive to Xbox and PC, as it wasn't confirmed at any point during the trailer to be on anywhere else. Atlas announced today that which is launching sometime next year. Yeah, it's strange. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems very vague. Like there's not a straight answer to it.
Let's have a look at Gamatsu, because they seem they're on track usually. And for those in chat, I want to do this so I get it correct as well when I'm commenting it, so I don't make a mess of it.
Yeah, it just says on a few websites says Xbox Series X, S, as well as PC. There's nothing that states it's going to PlayStation as of yet.
Yeah, they do a further, just to kind of heads up as well for those who want to see more of it. They're doing a live stream on June 20th at 10 o'clock in the evening Japanese Standard Time to discuss the new title, and you'll be able to watch it on YouTube. So that's on Atlas's own one, but on their own website. And in all of their socials, all of the developers only have Xbox Series X and S and Windows. So as it stands,
it's probably a timed exclusive then, but
as it stands right
hard
now,
to confirm that.
based on their own socials and their own website, Metaphor ReFantazio currently is Xbox exclusive until June 20th, when we'll find out more. If they still say it's only coming to or at least if they say coming to Xbox and PC on that day, then it's exclusive, which is huge for Xbox. Massive.
I'd imagine it'd be a timed exclusive, not like a full flat out exclusive. So I'd probably expect 6 to 12 months timed exclusivity on this.
Mm-hmm. It would, like, I seen it and I was like, yeah, that obviously that has to be everywhere, surely, and that's just the marketing on the trailer. And then I looked at the website, and the website just says Xbox and Windows. I'm like, okay. Anything else? And then I seen loads of the developers for Atlas that were working on the game, and in all of their bios it just says Xbox and Windows. I'm like, this is so confusing. So is this exclusive? And if that is the case, which seems to be so far, touch wood, huge get for Xbox. Not for me specifically. I'm not going to be one that really plays this game, but for Xbox, that's a pretty big get. Pretty big get.
Pretty much the same here. I'm not really into JRPGs very much.
I'm into
play a few every
JRPGs.
now
I'm just
and
not
then.
into the anime JRPG like that. I'm not into the personas. I can't get away with it. I can't get away with the schoolgirl kind of on anime stuff that they do all the time. Like, nah.
The over exaggerated screaming or weird moaning sounds, they throw me off too much.
Yeah, it's wild. It's just so weird. Next title is a new first-party game by Xbox Game Studios and Stoic, and this was Project Belfry, of course, otherwise known as Towerborne, which is a funky new game. It's an action-adventure game, kind of open world, kind of not. It's kind of like a traditional old-school overworld from Final Fantasy, where you don't really do anything in the open world. You kind of walk around the map, but then you select a zone and you go into that zone, a bit like you did the forests in the overworlds on Final Fantasy previously, or the cave systems. Seems to be the way they're doing it this way. But we've also had updates on this in the extended showcase, and it's an story that they've got the story for the launch and everything set, so it's a comprehensive story that you can play co-op, both couch co-op and online, which is good. Fully upgradable characters, upgradable armor, upgradable weapons. You can do combo attacks with your friends. So if you're doing an attack, you can kind of link it up so that your friend can kind of finish that combo off. So it's got a fully kind of fleshed out kind of RPG-esque system to this game as well. But they've also got plans to expand the map as the game goes on. So it's kind of a living world and it continues to get larger and larger and they add more areas to it. So as it stands, what they showed in that little section there, if I just rewind a couple of seconds there, when they go to the map and you see them little sequences. So as it stands with these things right here, there, you've got like them sections. That seems to be the kind of play areas on the game at launch. And then I imagine what they're going to do is just expand, so they kind of pulls the curtain back a bit, and okay, this area at the top is now the clouds uncovered, and you've got this new area up here to kind of play in and explore, and they're going to keep adding to it and adding more stories to it as time goes on. So again, Game Pass day one. I don't think we've got a release date for that. Oh yeah, 2024. So that's also coming next year. That is the third of the quarterly games for next year, alongside Avowed and Hellblade. And the next one is super cool. I love this. This is my, outside of Starfield, my trailer of the show. Clockwork Revolution.
I like the look of this one too.
Wow.
Gives me heavy Bioshock vibes.
Yep. Again, another thing we said immediately when it came on, I was like, Bioshock. This just reminds me of Bioshock. And it looks phenomenal. And Phil Spencer's played this a year ago. So he's physically played this game a year ago. This is probably further along than we think, but they're taking their time on it. But this is all, we got full in-game gameplay footage here. So this is how the game looks. And as it stands right now, the game looks phenomenal. I love it. It looks really cool. And it's got kind of time-bending mechanics here, so you can change the past, change the future. It kind of detrimentally affects your choices.
That part where that guy is walking on that floating red carpet that those robots are pulling along, it's just stupidly funny to me.
Yeah.
So just walk on the road, man.
It's like proper tough upper class stuff, that, isn't it? But yeah, I'm really intrigued by this.
Yeah,
game.
I like the look of this one. Like, even though the weapons look unique, stand out. It's going to be time travel themes to this, and I love anything to do with time travel. So I'm going to give this a try. 100%. Looks great.
Yeah. Super gory. You can rewind time to like fix things, as you see on screen now. You can you've obviously got powers to blast people into the air. The world changes depending on how you change in time, and the enemies look cool, like biomechanical
I'd
elements.
imagine this is going to be another one of those like sort of games where your choices impact the ending.
Yeah.
And obviously the
And
world
it's in
around
exile,
you too,
so
you're going for it.
yeah, I was going to say it's in exile, so it's definitely choice based. So it's definitely going to have a detrimental effect to what you do there. And Clockwork Revolution, yeah, you take your time because that looks absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait for that game. Cannot wait. What's your kind of overall thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I can't wait. It's very Bioshock, and that's right up my street. Like I said, time travel. Big fan of time travel stuff. So yeah, it's something I'm going to be playing as soon as it comes out. Can't wait to see more.
Yeah, and that, one bonus for me was the fact that that was a lot of in-game, actual, solid gameplay footage. And that's a game that they're saying is coming in due time. So not even put the date on that one yet. Even though I think that's a 25 game. That one looked really far ahead. So far ahead. So whether or not it's a case of, like, we've got a large chunk of the game finished now, so we can show you a good chunk of what this city is and the gameplay in this city. We're still creating, like, certain other areas of the game or still finishing other areas, and they need a bit of time to polish out and stuff like that. I'd imagine it's more just a case of fleshing out the world on that game now, and they've got enough of a section to say we've got a good chunk of at least the opening city. We can show you the opening city because that's done. So, yeah, can't wait. Can't wait. That looks really good. Really good. And that's In Exile coming up. So that's two of the ones that we were looking for. Compulsion and In Exile coming up with two really intriguing new games. And I think both of them are 2025 games, to be honest. I think not too far out. But next up, and I'm going to go to it now. First of all, we'll put the little gameplay trailer on because it's going to take a while to dive into this one. Starfield. Holy moly. Jesus. Now, I was looking forward to this game before seeing the deep dive. But holy shit, am I hyped for this game now.
There's so much to take in with this 45-minute deep dive.
But
I've
Jen,
watched it twice.
Before we get into it, my God, does this game look pretty compared to what we saw last year?
Oh yeah, definitely. You can see the upgrades like visually in comparison to the gameplay we saw last year.
Yeah.
And that's why I mentioned when we were talking about Avowed and people were saying that that game doesn't look all that impressive. Don't hold out that things can change because this only proves it. The extra year of time has shown that they've given this a visual upgrade.
Yeah. It looks like the amount of biomes and all the different sceneries and the fact that we know you got a photo mode in it day one. Yes! But the visuals...
Have Bethesda ever really typically done a photo mode in previous games?
Not day one anyway. Not day one.
Actually, I think Fallout 76 had a photo mode.
They do, yeah.
Correct.
They do. But that was an add-on that was like patched in later. That wasn't immediate. To have it day one, fantastic. But the landscapes on this are just... Like, I'm going to be taking so many landscape photos of sunrises. And they've got real-time global illumination in the game, so that's ray traced lighting in the game. Like, what?
Yeah, it's big. It's a big boy. Like I said, there's so much to take note of in this 45 minutes that we got.
Yeah.
I've watched it twice, and there's still stuff that I've sort of missed out because it's hard to take all that information in.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be watching it again just to pick more information out of it.
Yeah.
But it looks so impressive from the character creator, which is drastically changed, to the building of your own ships. You can take the starting ship and adjust it. You can steal ships from other people, scrap them or use them. There's so much to this footage. I don't know where to begin.
Yeah.
I'm kind of taken aback with how much there is to this.
And there was a lot. I'm going to fast forward on here actually to get the Star Wars stuff because it wasn't for too far off. There we go. Yeah, there was like everything about it is so well thought out. Like one thing I love about the game the most is that even in the planets where there are story missions, even in the planets where there were story missions, the planets are randomly generated. So nobody has the same game ever. Nobody's map is the same as anybody else's map. So I feel sorry for the guide builders because your idea is fucked now. You cannot... no chance can you do... Like, the city's going to be the same, but it's not going to be in the same place. And outside of the city isn't going to be the same world. It's going to be different for everybody. Which means the quest lines, like even sub-quests, where they're like, oh, you need to go and fetch X from X place, that cave won't be in the same area. Like, it's just bonkers. Like, everybody already had different stories to tell when we were playing Skyrim last time. like how things played out differently and the characters played out differently and the way you died or didn't die or what you had for weapons and magic and how it kind of went that way and what happened to your NPC. But now that the planets are outside of the cities are randomly generated, it just makes everyone's playthroughs unique. No one's going to have the same playthrough. Everybody's live stream is going to be different because it's not going to be the same. Like, it's just baffling to me how they've managed to do that. Like, on top of that, an infinite possibility ship builder, infinite possibility base builder, countless weapons that you can upgrade. You've got a full like RPG system in there for upgrading yourself with perk systems and different outfits, and you can join different factions and romance different people, and it's just the level of detail in this game is absolutely insane.
I'm kind of hoping I can build like as close to the Millennium Falcon as I can get.
Yeah. I'm going to build the Event Horizon if possible. I might not fit on a landing pad, but I'm certainly going to try.
Yeah, and like, you can have people join you on your ship. I can hire people to join you on your ship.
Yeah.
This is a big, ambitious project, and I just hope that it works when it comes out and it doesn't have tons of issues.
By all accounts, the reason that, again, they've said creative vision for 30, but by all accounts, what Todd said is the Series X hits 60 some of the time, but it's pretty much on X and S a solid locked 30 all of the time, at least, which is why on consoles they've just done a locked 30 on console, because a 60 mode is very fluctuating. Now, I was thinking this yesterday on Boxy's show. When you're thinking about launching a game, do you want to launch a game with a solid lock steady 30 and a mode that is unsteady and get ripped to shreds by the reviewers because it's buggy, it's like frame rate all over the shop, it doesn't look great because it's downgraded visually just to make sure it kind of tries to get some performance in, and then people don't play the fidelity mode and they're just like, yeah, fidelity mode looks great but the performance mode's terrible, and then they just slate it? Or do you just go, no, this is locked 30 on console, it's going full fidelity, like, this is how it plays, and then the reviewers do not have a reason to slate the living shit out of it on console because there isn't those performance discrepancies to dig into. I think that's more likely one of the bigger reasons why they haven't tried to do a 60 anytime soon, because I don't think they want to risk this game having those scrutinies at launch for a 60 frames mode that is unstable, like really unstable. And I think it would be. What he's described is it hits it some of the time, but it's usually 40s, like 30s, 50s. It's like all over the shop when they unlock it. On PC, of course, you'll be able to do that. And if you've got a super powerful rig, you'll be able to get a comparable visual thing at 60. But the vast majority of people are going to be able to downgrade their resolution on PC so they can play it in 1080 with ultra settings instead of 4K.
That's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. I'm playing this on PC most of the time.
For me,
I will play it on console.
I was going to say,
my main place to play this will be PC.
We're both different. I've always said, and I've said this on multiple podcasts in the past, for me, for single player games that have no competitive edge to them, I don't care if it's got performance mode or not. It's a nice bonus if it does, but I always prefer the visual fidelity. I want to be blown away with the visual fidelity of something. So if I'm playing by myself, I don't care.
Yeah. I get it with a game like Starfield because the gameplay isn't like a high octane Twitch shooter.
Yeah.
So keeping up with that
which is why
so
we
much
said
as an issue.
Redfall was such a fucking letdown. Because when you're talking about shooters, racing games, anything that is like Twitch, like anything that is quick reaction, it needs 60. It does. It smooths the entire experience and it makes sure you can react quicker. You don't need that in a huge open world RPG that is just you playing. Like, it's not essential. Yeah, it's an added bonus that people would love. I absolutely completely agree with that. And PC players, of course, the ones that have got capable machines with an SSD will be able to achieve 60 frames. But it will be intensive. There's absolutely no doubt this game will be intensive on anybody's system. I don't care what the recommended settings are. It's going to be a resource hog. Yeah, we know it is.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's going to be a big game, so definitely going to be a lot of resources being used.
Yeah, exactly. So, console users, you're going to get a beautiful, solid 30 frames at 4K, like fixed 4K 30 fidelity mode on console, or on Series S, fixed 2K 30, which is really good, actually. I was expecting lower, to be honest. Fixed 2K 30 on Series S, so hats off to them for pulling that one off. So it's going to look fantastic on launch. It's going to play nice and smooth with a locked 30. So there we go. But yeah, the level of detail for this game outside of that, it just blows me away. Like, when they started going through all the different biomes and all the different, like, when you see the planet, I love the visual of being on a planet and seeing a huge planet right in front of you, and like in the atmosphere, like with the rings around it and like awesome sunsets and things. I'm like, holy shit, this game looks beautiful.
Even the wildlife, like each planet has wildlife set to, like, it looks like it belongs in those locations.
Yeah.
What's funny is you can get like a perk or something along the lines of perks where you can actually like mind control some of the wildlife, which is going to be funny. It's probably something I'm going to do.
Get them to attack other mobs.
There's like superpowers in this game as well, and I didn't expect that.
Force power. You know what? There was a good thing that we spoke about, actually.
Telekinesis or something.
I was going to say, if you have a look at the story element of the game, and I think it goes in line with the story, but you're collecting these like mythical shards from space, and I think part of the story is the more of these shards you're collecting that people are unaware as to what they are, the more this power kind of grows within you. And you've seen at the end of the thing, at the end of the showcase, he kind of goes boom, and everyone kind of flies and like goes into stasis, like in the air. I'm like, okay, what's that about then? I think it's got something to do with the shards that you collect.
I think it'll be a little bit along the lines of the Dragonborn type thing.
Yeah.
Like where you get different shouts and all that, but obviously in this game, not going to be dragons. It's going to be those artifacts or whatever it is that you're collecting around the universe of Starfield. And then maybe that unlocks your different abilities and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what is it that's kind of impressed you the most about this game then? Because there was a lot to take in, but
just the scale of the universe more than anything. Because I'm one of those people that loves to explore, and I get lost in exploring, and it's one of the things that sort of distracts me from the main missions.
And one area I know you're going to be in a lot was that cowboy town. As soon as I seen that, I was like, Jen, this is you. This is your man.
Yeah, that's 100% where I'm going as soon as I possibly can in that game. Because I'm going to be walking around as a cowboy, hopefully in a poncho and a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's right up my street, that location. Hopefully I can try and create as close as possible to a Mandalorian-looking character as I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the exploration is where it's at for me, and I've got 1,000 worlds to explore. Yeah. It's going to take a lot of time to do that.
I liked how they kind of they didn't limit that, but I liked how they said, like, to reach the further areas, you're going to have to upgrade your ship. So it kind of
Mhm.
ensures that you kind of explore the surrounding vicinity first, get enough of your equipment together and improve your ship, and then you can kind of go further afield. So it's like, it's not forcing you to stay there, but it kind of encourages you to, okay, I need to upgrade my ship, otherwise I can't fly to the next mission because it's too far out. So, right, okay, let's go and, like, I need to upgrade my engines, I need to get me shields up a bit, so I'm going to do this side quest over here, and this guy's got, like, a ship part that I can earn for doing this side quest. Like, I like that kind of idea where it's not kind of, it's not limiting, but it's kind of a soft limit. So you're not just like immediately be able to go to the far ends of the galaxy in your starter ship. You've kind of got to put some thought into it and some planning.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. I mean, a lot of that's probably to do with the story as well.
Yeah, they don't want you to go straight to the final story planet. The end.
Yeah. I guess some of that also comes down to like the sheer overwhelming feeling that a lot of people get with open world games. It's like, where the fuck do I go first?
Yeah, you've
And then
got
people
1,000
like sort of
planets, there you go,
overthink
see you
that.
later. Yeah.
Mm.
Kind of saying, okay, we're going to kind of limit that immediately so you don't get overwhelmed. But once your ship's built up, you can literally go to any planet at any time. So, yeah, I think
that's 100% what I'm looking forward to the most. I love exploration in Bethesda games. I get lost in the exploration so much to the point where I don't even complete the main story. And I still haven't completed the main story of Fallout 4 because I get lost in exploring so much. And then by the time like I'm done with the exploring, I'm sort of like burnt out from the game. So then I'll go play something else, and then I'll come back and try and chip away at the story again. I just need to commit to completing these game stories, but I just get so distracted by all the possibilities around a big open world.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, and a shout out to the team who put in this Oblivion throwback with the over worshipping fan, the annoying fan that just follows you around.
I'm not
everywhere.
even letting this guy run up to me. I'm just going to blow his head off as soon as I see him.
I did like on the video though that they did do that. They didn't show you on screen, but they kind of waited for him to talk to you in space, and then he kind of creeps up behind him with a shotgun. And he's like, I'm like, yes, exactly. That's exactly what we're gonna do. We're just gonna blow his head off. Oh god, I can't wait. I did like as well how, if depending on what factions you're in, if you have a certain religious belief, you can kind of sneak past certain ships and they'll let you past. But if you don't, they'll open fire on you and you end up in a space battle. Like, these kind of intricacies are just insane. And it just opens up again about the play style and everybody's playthrough being entirely different. Like, there it is. Dead. But no one's game, like, I can be streaming this game and it's going to be nothing like your stream. It's nothing like Boxy's, nothing like Mix. Like, it's going to be awesome to see what's happening, because no one can give you a guide on screen that can kind of tell you how to get certain perks and things like that, and how best way to level up your character and ship build and stuff like that. But in terms of the story, no one can tell anybody where to go because no one fucking knows. I don't know. Where's yours? Oh, it's nowhere near where mine was. Mine was over here.
I also really love how ambitious the character creator is, because the guy talking about the character creation basically said you can create anyone in character creator pretty much in the game.
Yeah.
If you see someone in game, you can recreate them in the character creator.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. Exactly. I did see a big beard in there as well, so I'm happy. The days of big beards are upon us. Embrace them, developers. Embrace them. Street Fighter brought it first with its giant flowy beard. More of that, please, devs. More of that. Another shout out to the team as well.
Mind control bit.
Yes, yeah. I was going to say another shout out to the team as well, because the combat looks really fun. The combat looks on
It looks
point.
way better than it did last year as well, the combat.
Yeah.
It looks smoother.
Yeah.
And that's always been like a problem in the Fallout games, is the gunplay seems clunky. and it doesn't look like that kind of clunkiness
Yep.
in the footage we've seen here.
Yeah, it doesn't look clunky at all. It looks, like I say, like it looks really fun. It looks fast paced. It looks awesome. And again, I like the fact that they've given you an option to go first person or third person. So I'm going to do third person for exploration. As soon as I get inside, I'm going to be playing first person in case the combat arise, and then dive straight into combat mode. First person, click. There we go. Off I go. Can't wait.
I'll probably be sticking mostly with first person.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I
I'm gonna go.
don't really typically go in third person in the
When you're dressed as a
Combat
cowboy, you
games.
definitely are.
That's a good point.
Yep. Space cowboy.
Yeah.
But yeah, bring on September. I've pre-ordered the.
If you get the,
I was gonna say
you're going to talk about it right now.
just now, yeah. I was gonna say for Xbox Game Pass members as well. Obviously, you get the base game as part of Xbox Game Pass, but you can, like Forza, like a few of the games now, you can buy the premium add-on separately for $30, and that gives you 5 days early access to Starfield. I've already got that pre-ordered, so I'm going to be playing the game 5 days early, thank God. That also gives you access to the first DLC, Shattered Space. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that is. That's a story DLC. So even though the game's not already out, they've already got story expansions planned for it, and you get access to that with the premium edition. For those of you, of course, who have the collector's edition, not jealous, with the watch, you get the same. So enjoy. But yeah, September can't come soon enough, can it?
No, I'm going to be playing it on the 1st of September because I'm impatient. I can't wait. If I've got early access to it, I'm having early access to it.
Yeah.
I am not waiting while everyone else is playing it, sending screenshots in DMs, and I'm sitting there like,
and guess what?
I need it.
Guess what? The 1st of September is a Friday. What a belter day to be playing Starfield. A nice long weekend of Starfield. Instead of waiting for a midweek release if you just get the standard edition. Glorious. Glorious, glorious, glorious. I've got a controller on the way. Thanks to Boxy for that. Who gifted me a controller as a thank you. So shout out to Boxy for gifting us the Starfield controller. And I've pre-ordered myself the premium edition, of course. So super hyped for that. I already have an Xbox headset, but having seen Mick show off the headset for Starfield, which has new sounds, which I didn't know. So when you connect it, it's got a sound, like a new sound entirely. When you mute and unmute, it's got an entirely different sound. Like, I did not realize the headset had these custom sounds attached to them.
No, me neither.
And then I've seen people going, yeah, it's got custom sounds for switching it on, for connecting it, for disconnecting it. I was like, oh, that's cool. Oh, no.
I haven't ordered the controller or the headset, and I'm not going to. I need to stop wasting money on controllers and headsets.
Yes,
Although I do need a new headset.
Yes, Superman. It's got new sounds from Starfield on the headset that no one was aware of, and they didn't tell anybody on the stream, which I think would have been made people buy it more, as opposed to, yeah, that looks pretty. They didn't say, oh, we've got cool sounds, so like for the mute and unmute, we've put on custom sounds, and for the connection.
No, I'm just really surprised there isn't a console to go with it as well.
So same here. I'm really surprised they didn't do a console.
It would have made a lot more sense for them to do the full shebang: controller, headset, console,
collector's edition with a watch, and
they could have done keyboards and mouse to go along with it, like they did with Halo.
Yeah. Even if it was just a Series S, I would have thought I would have potentially picked another Series S up just to get a Starfield one. That's way cheaper.
So they could have done both. They could have done the Series S and X, and they could have both done them differently.
Yeah. But hey, bring on September is all I'm going to say there. Bring on September. we did get a bunch of other games though from other studios, of course, both before and after that. I'm going to dive into the stuff that was also on Xbox first. Now, there's been some other additions that we haven't seen in trailers. Some of them, like Sand, Diesel Legacy, Warhammer, Realms of Ruin.
Quickly bring something to people's attention. Mortal Kombat 1 is going to have a server test, stress test, coming up on the 23rd to the 26th of June. And you can actually sign up for that right now. And I'm going to post the link right in the chat. So if you're interested in Mortal Kombat 1 and you want to sign up for that stress test, get signed up and hopefully you get a code.
Sweet. I'm guessing you've signed up then.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Jen, did you know there was a new Warhammer game that's not Space Marine?
No, I didn't.
Watch the screen now then. Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Coming to Xbox. So yes, this was a kind of announced afterwards. This is a proper Warhammer game as well, as you can see by the suits of armor and things on there.
This is the more fantasy style Warhammer.
Yeah.
Which I'm more into the sci-fi of 40k than the fantasy.
This was announced by itself. This trailer just dropped. It wasn't on any showcase. It just dropped straight on there. It's a turn-based tactical game, so much like XCOM. So probably not your style again. But for those who love XCOM style games,
Not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was something to go into Gamepass, though, I would give it a try. But I'm not really all into those XCOM like strategy games. Didn't really get on with Gears Tactics all that much. I think I got halfway through that before I gave up on it.
Yeah.
But the story to that was pretty good. Just the gameplay just doesn't mesh with me too well. Ended up watching all the cutscenes for that online rather than playing the game myself.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I think was a release. Oh, there we go. Realms of Ruin.
But yeah, I'm big into Space Marines.
Open beta,
as you can tell.
7th till the 10th. There we go. Open beta, 7th till the 10th of July. So if anybody wants to try that, 7th till the 10th on Xbox Series X and S.
I might try the beta out, see what it's like.
Yep. We also got another glimpse at Assassin's Creed Mirage. What do you make of that?
Out of all the Assassin's Creed games in recent years, this one is more my liking. I preferred the older style Assassin's Creed games. I didn't like it when they took that massive open world RPG approach.
Yeah.
I didn't really get on with those games. Didn't really go much on Origins, Odyssey, or Valhalla. So I'm looking forward to this because it goes back to its roots, where you're more in like a linear path story situation. You haven't got 1,000,001 fetch quests to go and do before you can go and do other things, because you need to level up 6 million times before you can do a mission. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is likely going to be a day one purchase for me. It's not like a $70 full price game either. It's like, what, 50, I think?
Yeah.
50 quid. Yeah, it's a definite play for me.
Nice. Yeah, and I like the new one of the new mechanics that they've got in there, where you can kind of tag multiple people and you like attack them one after another without getting spotted. That was a really cool little feature.
Yeah, that gave me vibes for one of the Splinter Cell games where you could mark targets, then execute the targets real quick with a push of a button.
Yeah, that's what that looked like. So that looked really
I think it was
intriguing.
Blacklist. You could do that.
Yeah,
I think it was Blacklist. It was the very last Splinter Cell game before Splinter Cell took a
very long hiatus.
And hasn't been seen for years.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that looks fantastic. That one's obviously coming out in a few months as well. Got that pre-ordered.
I can't wait for it. I really love the first Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Revelations wasn't very good in my opinion. I did enjoy most of 3. I didn't go much on Black Flag though. Black Flag sort of lost me halfway through the game.
Yeah.
Because that was when they were sort of pushing to that big open world sort of style, and it felt far too overwhelming with too much going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad they're scaling it back and doing some Assassin's Creed games that vibe more with the people that prefer the older ones.
Yeah. Yeah. What we also got to see was the Crew Motorfest, but it didn't show well. It's Ubisoft's version of the Horizon game, so the big open world festival based car racing game with motorbikes and Formula One and everything in between.
Yeah, when they were talking about this on stage, like the guy announcing it didn't really seem like he was all that interested in his own project.
Yeah. Yeah, and it didn't show well either, to be fair for me. It didn't show well at all.
They were sort of obscuring it. Like there was very few cuts where you could actually just see the gameplay on screen. It was behind.
When the gameplay was on screen, it didn't look that great.
Yeah.
And then they used a load of in-engine kind of like dash cuts to kind of show you the cars drifting around corners and things, but when it come to the actual gameplay, it was kind of just really basic track racing. Wasn't
Yeah, not all for me. I mean, I'm not really into racing games.
Yeah.
But if I was going to play one, it definitely ain't going to be this.
Nope. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. It looked great until I saw the price.
Is this full price $70 game?
Not far off. It's $45 for the normal, $50 for the deluxe, which is the same price as Mirage.
It looks too arcadey. Like it should be more $15, $20 sort of price tag.
2030. It's not a 50 quid game. It's not. I know Nintendo got away with like giving people arcadey kind of like Metroid games and things that are like short and sweet and look like that at 50, 60 quid, but I'm sorry, that's Nintendo. Like they always overprice a lot of their stuff. Like Pokemon was the last thing that we got that was probably okay priced. It was like 40 quid or something. And I was like, okay, that's reasonable. I was expecting 60 quid for this, or 50 quid at least, but it wasn't. But there's no way I'm paying 50 quid for Prince of Persia, a side-scrolling platformer. I'm not. As good as it looks, I'm not paying that much for it. Like,
it looks alright, but it's like not my street. I can't really say I've ever been all that into the Prince of Persia games.
Yep.
Like Sands of Time is probably the only one I liked.
Next up, the other game, because we covered Star Wars already. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. This kind of had a weird showing. It looked great, and it looked weird.
This was, a weird one. It was very hit and miss in places. Like some of the visuals on some of the characters' faces in certain parts of the showcase looked odd. Like didn't really look textured well, and then in other places it looked phenomenal.
Yeah, like the world looks absolutely.
The world's
beautiful.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah,
stunning.
And I can't wait to explore the world. I've pre-ordered it. It comes out 7th of December. But some of I don't know whether or not it was the lighting. Like some of the lighting, like the characters look great. But then in other lighting scenarios, they look really smooth with like no texture. It's like, it was really weird. It was like really hit and miss on the characters. But the world in itself, though, is super high detailed. My only problem with this game, even though I've pre-ordered it, is that it is first person. And you're only not first person when you're riding your mount, whether that be a banshee or one of the horse creatures. I can't remember the name of them. That's the only time you're not in first person. Thank God.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I thought this would be much better received in third person, just like the Star Wars game.
Yeah.
And you can tell that their A-team's not on this.
Yeah. I am super looking forward to exploring the world, though. That's the one thing I'm looking forward to the most, is flying around on a banshee and exploring Pandora. I cannot wait to see that world, all of the different luminescent biomes, and the scale of it all, and the floating mountains, and taming banshees and getting a bigger banshee, and yeah, I'm super looking forward to it on that sense. I wonder how I'm going to cope with the
The
first
world
person.
is definitely going to be a visual showcase for this Snowdrop engine, though.
Yeah.
But I just hope they sort out those faces before launch, because in some places it looks really weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not really into the Avatar movies. Didn't go much on the first one. Yet to see the second one. Don't know if I will. I think the biggest shame for this is that yesterday it literally came out that they've delayed the next Avatar movie to next year.
They've delayed a bunch of films, though. I
Yeah.
think that's to do with
yeah.
the writers.
The strikes.
Writers' strikes.
All the Avatar films were pushed back
Avengers
by a year.
movies just got pushed back by like decades. Everything.
I think Avengers.
Deadpool.
The next two Avengers films have been delayed by a year.
Deadpool's been pulled forward by 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting it sooner. What the fuck?
They must be further along shooting that film than
May
they
24?
anticipated.
Yeah, May 24 now for Deadpool. So, but yeah, it is a shame that Avatar's film doesn't launch alongside this now, which it was scheduled
because this would
to.
sell a hell of a lot more if the film had come out alongside it. People would be like, "What? The film's out now, and there's a game as well."
Yeah.
And they've just gone to see the film, and they can go and literally buy a console of their choosing, or if they already have a console, they can pick up the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have been nice to see this go alongside a movie. It always seems to be a miss with these types of movie to game adaptations. They always seem to miss the mark when those come out.
Yeah.
And then they don't sell very well because of that. I still think this is going to sell well, but it would sell even better if the movie had come alongside it.
Yeah. Completely agree. But yeah, so that one comes out in December. I've got it ordered because, again, that's another one of my holiday games, that and Cyberpunk's expansion.
I think I'll hear your opinions on this game before I commit to it, because, like I said, not really into the world of Avatar. But I don't know, if the game's received well, maybe I'll try it out. Yeah. Maybe that'll be my gateway into actually getting interested into this franchise.
Or even just the world of the franchise, at least, yeah.
Mm.
What I'll do is I'll probably stream a bit as well, because there's no doubt there's going to be quite a few people that are on, that are unsure as to whether or not to get into this game, or get this game.
Was this going to have co-op as well?
No. Not as far as I'm aware.
Would be cool if it did.
Not as far as I'm aware. Could be wrong, but unless they're doing like a Far Cry-esque thing where you can do co-op, I think it's just single player.
I do get heavy Far Cry vibes from this.
Yeah. I mean, it would be cool, and as you can see there's another guy in front of you on the Banshee. That could be your mate, I don't know, but they haven't mentioned that it's going to have co-op. At least not to my knowledge. So, I'll have to wait and see. But, yeah. A couple of little things that got announced on a few different shows, like Capcom show. The Ace Attorney games are coming to console for the first time, outside of just Nintendo. So, hallelujah. Got another theme park builder called Park Beyond, launched now. Exoprimal got another update as well there, so that's cool. There we go. Big Mad Mo said, yes, it is co-op.
Yeah, I was just literally reading that on
so thanks for clarifying
Rant.
Yeah.
Avatar Frontiers of Pandora will be available on the 7th of December, complete with open world co-op support.
Nice.
So yeah, maybe when you've played some of it, you say good things about it, I might pick it up, jump on some co-op with you. Yeah.
Yeah, if I can recommend it.
I'm hesitant to try it out. I mean, I'm still a little bit hesitant with the Star Wars game because it is Ubisoft and we know they can drop the ball.
Yep.
But that's Star Wars. I'm addicted to Star Wars.
Yeah. We got an update
if that game has issues, I'll be refunding it.
Yeah.
Like I did with Survivor until it was fixed.
An update for High on Life. High on Knife, a horror-themed expansion to the game. Coming
That's
out
probably going to be wacky.
Yeah. What do you make of this one?
It's going to be a mix of horror and comedy. I've still not completed the main game because I was just in between so many games.
Yeah.
I need to get back to it.
Yeah, same, to be honest.
I saw my dad play most of this. It's a comedy fest, this game. Like, you're in tears of laughter pretty much throughout most of the game, and there's some wacky things in the main game. So I imagine this is just going to be more of that with a horror twist to it.
Yeah. And it is a paid expansion as well, so you have to buy the expansion, so that's part of Game Pass. But of course, they need to monetize it somehow, naturally. High on Life is still on Game Pass, though, so you can't play the actual game on Game Pass. The expansion, High on Knife, the horror expansion, is a paid add-on. So, doesn't say when it's coming, but it's coming soon. We got the Lamplighters League again. Gameplay reveal of the first Descendant. It was okay, not great. Expansion for Hi-Fi Rush with Arcade Challenge. Update trailer, which adds 2 new modes there, including BPM mode, which goes up to 200 BPM, which is insane. And that's a free update, so everybody gets it. Obviously, if you haven't played it already, definitely play Hi-Fi Rush. What a fantastic little game that was. Loved it from start to finish. Even if you're not the best beat matcher guy, you can put that on easy. You don't have to worry about matching to the beat. It does it automatically for you, and you can just enjoy the game and the story, and just have fun. Next up is a cool one. Phasmophobia eventually makes its way to console. Been looking forward to this one.
This is a good party game with friends, four-player co-op.
Absolutely in on this day one.
I've played this on PC with a bunch of different friends, and it's always a hell of a good time. There was one point when the game bugged, and like the ghost literally appeared in my face, and it wasn't supposed to happen. It was a bug, and I literally shit my pants. It was one of the most horrifying bugs I've ever experienced. Yeah, so this game is a hell of a lot of fun with friends. It's got voice recognition in it, so if you have your mic activated, the ghost will hear you. You can say a bunch of different phrases of words, and the ghost will respond to it. So yeah, it's going to be awesome to see this come to console and with crossplay as well. So I can play this on PC with people on console, and that's a brilliant thing.
Yeah,
I definitely love this game. It's cheesy, but it's definitely got its moments where it can make you jump.
Yeah. So that's coming August, so not too long away for that. I'm going to be jumping into that day one, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. We won't be on party for that because, of course, we want to be in game so that the ghosts can hear our every movement. So that's going to be fun. I can't wait. I'm so glad they announced that. That was a nice little surprise.
Yeah.
Nice surprise.
I'm pretty sure we'll be playing this with Berserker because he's excited for it as well. And I think Marion wants to join us. So me, you, Marion, and Berserker this should be a fun time.
Yep. And we'll be streaming it. I'll definitely be streaming it. Lights will be off. I'll be sitting in the dark with these. I'll turn these lights off as well so you can't see me until something flashes on screen, and then you'll see my horrified face. So yeah, can't wait.
Just in time for the Halloween season as well.
Yes, indeed. Got more Lies of P. We got the Wandering Village release date trailer. Another Crab's Treasure comes to Game Pass. Of course, we showed this at the Community Indie Showcase. It was one of Dunk's picks, actually. Another Crab's Treasure. And
this does look good.
It's got the announcement that it's coming to Game Pass. It is a
Something
Souls-like game, but you're a crab.
Shells-like.
It's a Shells-like game, yeah. So that should be awesome. That should be awesome. Another couple of things, and I'm going to try and find them now. 2 seconds. There we go. We also got on another one of the showcases. There we go. Final Fantasy. The Final Fantasy VII Rebirth gameplay trailer. And to be honest, I'm actually, it looks great. It looks really good. As much as I hate this bit part section that we're getting for Final Fantasy these days, I do like the look of what they've done with the open world on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It looks really, really cool. Full party together again. I love how Red 13's like really kind of emphasized on his gameplay in Rebirth as well. That's Red 13, by the way, the wolf. He looks super cool. Really cool character. God, this trailer is a bit low quality, mind it. Is that the highest it can go? Oh yes, they've only put it on 1080. Terrific, thanks guys. But the game itself looks fantastic. It looks like a game I'm gonna have to play now, as much as I was trying to put off getting another Final Fantasy VII like extension, expansion, added version. But yeah, it looks great. Looks great so far. I'm looking forward to it. You get any thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? What do you think of it?
It looks good, but I'm not really into Final Fantasy games. The only one I ever really got on with and enjoyed most of the way through was Final Fantasy X, and that's because I never completed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not really one for Final Fantasy games. Not played many of them. Not really been inspired to play many of them. But it looks pretty good. Cool for people that like Final Fantasy. The biggest disappointment about this is the fact that it was shown at Summer Games Fest. Why wasn't it shown at Sony Showcase?
Yes.
It's exclusive to their console.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a weird one. But yeah, it's Final Fantasy. For the people that love Final Fantasy, it's going to sell well. Final Fantasy always sells well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not for me, but it looks pretty okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the open world looks great. I'm looking forward to kind of actually exploring that and seeing that angle for it. So let's see how much of the open world they've done. Of course, from what we've seen, there's a few different sections there, but I can't kind of clarify just how much of that overworld they've covered in Rebirth, or how big the game is compared to the first one. But we'll see. No doubt we'll get more. We've had like 400 Final Fantasy 16 gameplay trailers, so no doubt we'll get lots more of this one before it releases. But this is apparently next year.
I will say that this one's dialogue isn't as cheesy as 16.
Oh, hell no.
16 has some real cheesy dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've got one of the best villains in the series there as well in Sephiroth. Sephiroth's a cool dude. Very evil, but cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Should be good. Should be good. The only other big kind of major announcement, I'm going to go back to it there, was really Spider-Man. Of course, we got Space Marine 2, and I know you want to dive into that, but I'll cover Spider-Man first.
Yep, I'll definitely be playing Space Marine 2.
So, yeah, we got the gameplay reveal of Spider-Man as well at the Sony Showcase last week, which unveils a load of new characters, essentially villains that you're going to fight against. I'm going to ask you, because, of course, you're the much bigger Spidey fan than I am. What's your thoughts on what we saw from Spidey 2 trailer?
I absolutely loved it. It's going to be interesting to see Kraven the Hunter. When I showed this off at the Sony Showcase, I wasn't sure what this game was until I saw Kraven the Hunter. And I was like, yeah, I know exactly what this is. They're obviously handling the story different. It's Insomniac's own take on Spider-Man's story, which is more than fine. You know, I've seen people complain about the fact that Venom isn't going to be Eddie Brock, but you know, it doesn't have to be Eddie Brock. It's Insomniac's story.
Yeah,
they can tell it how they want, and I'd rather them do that than tell me a story I've already seen a million times before in small little different ways. So them going big and changing drastic elements to the story is fine for someone like me. I can't wait to see it. If you played Spider-Man 1 to completion, there is like hints to who Venom will be. Whether that's something they're going to continue in this game is another thing. I kind of have my suspicion that maybe even Kraven the Hunter gets the Venom symbiote after Spider-Man in this. So, well, we'll see. I'm looking forward to this. This is a day one buy for me. I still need to complete Miles Morales. I went through Spider-Man 1 again on PS5, the remaster version. By the time I 100%ed that the second time, I was kind of burnt out with Spider-Man, so I haven't really fully committed to Miles Morales yet, and that's something I'm going to be doing very soon, and I'll be streaming that too, just to build up to when this game comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. Last but not least, I'm going to get the other one that you're super looking forward to, which has been shown off a few times now.
Is it Mortal Kombat?
No, it's not Mortal Kombat. Space Marine 2.
This was announced Game Awards, right? Originally.
We've got to sit through an ad for Old Spice first. These Old Spice ads are nuts, but I love them.
Have you seen the Terry Crews ones?
Yeah, the Terry Crews ones are brilliant.
They're fucking brilliant. I prefer the Terry Crews ones. They're just so funny.
But this game looks more and more impressive every time I see it, to be fair.
And we find out in the trailer that it's free-player co-op.
Yep. Yep. The more I see this game, the more it looks absolutely awesome, and I hope it's great, because Warhammers have had a history of having poor performance on console.
I wouldn't expect to be let down. The first game, a lot of people speak highly about. I've yet to play it. I've only ever really been into painting Space Marines.
Yep.
Which I'm getting back into. And that's mainly because this has sort of been the thing that's made me want to get back into it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. It's third person. I get very heavy vibes of Gears of War, even though Gears of War is inspired by some of the lore of Warhammer, especially the COG. They're very sort of more scaled down sort of size Space Marines, pretty much. And the Locusts are basically space orcs in a way. It's just obviously they change things in Gears. So I'm looking forward to this. It looks more impressive the more I see it. Now we've actually seen gameplay. It really has piqued my interest. The hordes of Tyranids in this are massive. I'd imagine you're going to see some big Tyranid bosses in this as well. And it's just probably going to be an adrenaline rush of an experience. Hopefully the story lives up to it, because Warhammer 40k is rich lore. Hopefully they make the most of that lore, and it's a great game.
Let's try that again, shall we? There we go. Yeah, I'm super looking forward to it. I hope it is great, because I know you're super hyped for it, and it's a good chance I'll pick it up and play it as well with you. It looks nuts. It looks nuts.
It does. It looks nuts.
The amount of things on screen at any one time is insane.
I'd also imagine this might tie in with the new 10th edition of the miniatures game, because they've just literally released that with a new box set of miniatures to paint. So I'd imagine it sort of ties in with that too.
Yeah.
Like I said, the lore is rich with the 40k universe. It's been something that a lot of people have taken inspiration from. So yes, I can't wait. Hopefully this game lives up to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's literally 64 books in some of the story arcs, because it's previous to 40k, there's this whole heresy arc, 10,000 years before 40k, and there's so many books that flesh out the lore. There's hundreds of books in the Warhammer franchise, and some of them are insane. I've only read a couple of them, and they're really good stories.
Yep. Next up, though, there's another big one for you. Mortal Kombat. Oh, fucking advertisements. You can tell I don't have premium, can't you? I refuse to pay premium. I refuse. No way YouTube are getting more of my monies. They take a big enough cut of my supply anyway. Dear me. But yeah, Mortal Kombat 1. To round off the show today, you're a big or massive Mortal Kombat fan. I'm a big Street Fighter fan, which is better. So what?
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that blasphemous comment.
what? What do you think of Mortal Kombat 1 then?
It looks insane. The more I see of the gameplay, and I know there's been some more gameplay shown, but I haven't had a chance to see it with all the other showcases that have been going on. They're making drastic changes to the characters in this new Mortal Kombat universe. Scorpion and Sub-Zero are brothers. Melina and Katana are actually twin sisters.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're making drastic changes to the story. If you played Mortal Kombat 11, you sort of know that the stories going forward is going to be different because Liu Kang basically recreates the timeline. I just can't wait for this. So they've got this whole new cameo system, and they're going to have fatalities that tie into that. Something that Street Fighter doesn't have because Mortal Kombat's better.
No, we've got an open world. We've got an open world single player mode. It's fine because Street Fighter's better.
Fatalities better. But yeah, it's more Mortal Kombat for me. I love it. The brutality, just when you think you've seen it all with Mortal Kombat, they somehow elevate it to the next level of brutality, and it's insane.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't wait. Like I mentioned a moment ago, there's going to be a stress test. I posted it in the chat. If you haven't signed up for it, 100% sign up for it. Hopefully you get a code. Hopefully I get a code. Hopefully you get a code, Dutch, so I can show you how better Mortal Kombat is.
I'll have to get you a code for Street Fighter so I can show you how much better Street Fighter is. See? Bobby Dazzler knows. Bobby Dazzler. Boom. There we go. So he knows.
Don't agree with that.
He knows.
Blasphemy.
I win by default. Oh, Marion, don't you dare. We're gonna have to get some kind of artwork. We're gonna have to get some kind of artwork for a T-shirt designed with like me as Ryu and you as Scorpion or something. That's a really good idea. That. And I will have one for you that says Mortal Kombat better, and one for me that says Street Fighter better. Done. There we go.
We should do some sort of like community night for fighting games at some point.
Asante, I thought you were my brother. I thought Asante, come on.
See, Asante knows where it's at. Mortal Kombat better.
I thought you loved me, Asante. There's no need for this blasphemy.
MK all day.
That's it. End of. I have final say.
Yeah, Pinky of Legend knows where it's at as well.
Oh, you. Damn you all. That's not to say I haven't pre-ordered Mortal Kombat, because I have, so I can kick your ass and prove you that Street Fighter's better.
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It looks great. It does look great. It does. The brutalities, the fatalities, the cameo brutalities and fatalities look absolutely amazing. The gameplay
I'm really
looks
glad
smooth.
to see fighting games back. As much as I say Mortal Kombat better, it's great to see the likes of Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken still kicking after all these years.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks, they do all look fantastic. And of course, there's just one missing now, Microsoft. You can pull your finger out and get something on that Killer Instinct.
Definitely the year for fighting games.
Yes, it is. Plendiferous, I knew I liked you. He knows where it's at. But no, it's for every fighting game fan, especially the old school, apart from Killer Instinct guys. You've got Tekken returning, you've got Mortal Kombat returning, you've already got Street Fighter there, and let's face it, Street Fighter knocked it out of the park this time. 92 on the meta, a fully fledged story mode, an unbelievable, really well crafted lobby mode for you to do online play, where you can literally just pick out, and you've seen that with Aces streams. European 70, everyone jump in here, and literally you can just boop boop, there we go, everyone's together. That easy. All multiplayer games should be that easy to jump into. That streamline.
And it's crossplay as well,
Yeah.
which is a big thing for fighting games.
Massive thing.
Because fighting games are kind of niche. Not many people stick to fighting games because they don't commit to the learning of all the moves.
Yeah.
That's why you get button smashes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to see that they've got a strong netcode for Street Fighter as well. To fight against like lag and all that.
Yeah.
Hopefully it can be the same for Mortal Kombat. I'm not sure if they're going to have a decent netcode yet. Hopefully them stress testing their servers is a big thing. And they're stress testing them in advance, which is a good thing as well.
Yeah.
Not
One
like
thing I
2
will
weeks
say as
before
well,
the game comes out.
and that's the one thing Street Fighter, and I didn't even realize until it launched, but Street Fighter uses Microsoft Azure, which is why
I didn't know that.
yeah, Microsoft. That's why the netcode is flawless. It's using Microsoft Azure PlayFab. So they're using Microsoft servers to run that game, which is no wonder why it's running perfectly. And I've literally not had any issues with it. It's been insane. Yeah, I agree. Splendiferous Tekken is for the button masher, 100%. Street Fighter, yeah,
There's button mashers in every fighting game though.
yeah. They've added modern mode on Street Fighter, which is for people who don't want to learn the moves or aren't great at fighters. But even if you are a good fighter on there, if you're using classic versus modern, you'll still win. If you're good at it. If you're not good at it and you play someone using classic, when they're using modern, you'll get your ass kicked. Because of course they can do combos without having to do the full cycle of the combo. But I'm classic. I've always used classic. I've always learned that way on Street Fighter. I can't use modern. I've tried to use modern to see what it's like, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. It doesn't feel normal. It doesn't feel natural. It feels like the buttons are out of place. I'm trying to do something and it's not working. I'm like, what the fuck's this? I just want to do me move. So I'm like, nope. Just revert me to classic, please. I'll stick on this. It's much better. But yeah. Yeah, I hope the servers are really good on Mortal Kombat. I hope they're really cool. There's some really, really insane fighters when you get online on these games though. Like super, super talented. There's only been a few that I've come across that have been like kick my arse on Street Fighter. The vast majority I'm okay with, but you get the occasional seasoned fighter online that just floors you without sweat. They're just like boom, boom, just pummeling you to death. I'm like, fucking hell. Yep, okay. GG. See you later, mate.
I won't be taking it easy on anyone in Mortal Kombat.
Oh no, I don't either. That's right.
I've already challenged Gaz as well.
Yes, I found that out the hard way. I perfected him, poor guy.
Is Ace again Mortal Kombat?
I think he is, yeah. I think he is.
I'll have to jump on if he's going to stream that.
Yeah,
we'll have to jump into a lobby and just fight each other.
He's really enjoyed Street Fighter, so I think hopefully he enjoys Mortal Kombat when that comes out as well. But
I hope they keep the things in Mortal Kombat where you can create your own like lobby, because you used to be able to create your own lobby and like 100 people can jump into that. I think.
Yeah.
I really hope they keep that sort of feature in the new Mortal Kombat. I'd imagine they will. Maybe they'll flesh it out a bit better. I don't expect it to be like the sort of hub world thing in Street Fighter, but hopefully they have those like rooms and all that, and you can host your own one.
Yeah. Yeah. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But I think that about wraps it up. What would you to kind of finish it off there as a kind of a funny moment, because there are some shit things happened in these showcases. What are your kind of worst moments from the showcase season?
See, I thought the two TV trailer moments at Jeff's show were awkward and out of place, but then Ubisoft had to come in and go hold my beer.
Yeah.
With that weird cringy dude in cyberpunk gear come up on stage to announce his anime. That was weird, man. That takes the cake for weirdness, and Ubisoft always does it. They also started the show with Just Dance, yeah, because we're all interested in seeing that. It's just cringy, out of place. doesn't vibe well with most of the people that are watching these showcases. It's not needed. I mean, everyone knows Just Dance comes out every year.
Yeah.
You don't need to keep showing it. It's like FIFA at this point.
Yeah.
But I'd rather play FIFA, you know. I'd rather play that than dance around like an idiot. No one wants to see me dance.
Yep, same. Exactly same. Exactly same. For me, the worst moments of the showcase thing were movie trailers, TV series trailers, at game shows. Like, I don't care if they're related to a game or not. Keep them out of it. I don't care. I don't want to see them.
Yeah, like I said about Jeff Showcase, it's called Summer Games Fest.
Yeah.
There's no place for TV or movies at a showcase that has the word games in it.
Yeah.
If you called it Summer Entertainment Fest, then yeah, we'd expect something like trailers for movies and TV shows.
Yep.
And that would be accepted, but it's called Summer Games Fest. The focus is games, and you take people out of the experience of watching those shows when you focus on TV trailers. And they focused on them trailers for a lengthy bit. It was obviously worse in the Ubisoft one because it felt like it just dragged out for ages with that Cyberpunk wannabe.
Yeah.
Just hopefully in future, Jeff keeps those things out because it's not needed.
Nope.
There's plenty of other gaming related things that you can fit in there for advertisement that make sense.
Yeah.
So approach companies that, I don't know, do gaming related things. Like there's pillows for gamers, and I'm blanking on the name of the company, but the Iron Lords, they have a sponsorship
Valari.
with them. That's the one. Them. Why can't Jeff approach a company like that specializes in specific stuff for gamers?
Yeah.
It would make more sense to do that. Keep it gaming related. Although, it might be, for example, The Witcher as a game. Originally, it wasn't. It was a book. It was only a game after the book.
Yeah.
It's no place for a trailer, even if it is tied to a game. In the case of The Witcher, it isn't because it's so drastically different from the story in the game and the books.
Yep. For me, again, outside of the TV series stuff, the Ubisoft conference was fucking awkward. Oh, like if you'd just seen the trailers by themselves, you would think it was an okay show. But having sat through that show,
an hour and a half of it,
and most of it was talking, like unneeded. Like they talked about that anime for like what felt like half an
way
hour.
too long. I think that guy droned on for like 6 or 7 minutes before he showed that trailer.
Yeah. And then again,
it would have been cool if it was a game that had all these Ubisoft characters in it, and it was more like an anime style game. A TV trailer? Come on, man.
And then
I don't care if it's got Ubisoft characters in it or not. I don't need to see a trailer for TV shows.
Motorfest was the same. Motorfest, the guy just stood in front of the screen. We couldn't actually see the gameplay. The gameplay was playing behind him whilst he was talking, so everybody in the audience could see it, but we couldn't see it.
That's the only game they did that with. And it makes me feel like they did that on purpose because they had something to hide.
Yeah. But those are the worst points. Unfortunately for me, the Capcom one bored you to sleep. There was nothing on there.
Yeah, I mean, even taking into account the Sony showcase, I mean, because it is showcase season, as much as their showcase was a little bit earlier than everyone else's, I'm still going to sort of compile it into here. They did the same thing with Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
As much as it's a game, I don't need to see the movie trailer there.
Yeah. I'm so glad Xbox didn't. Xbox were the only people to not show a movie trailer or a TV series trailer.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Thank fuck.
Right. Could you imagine though if they did and it was Halo or something? It's not needed.
Nope.
You want to show something like that off, put it in your extended show, not your main show.
Exactly. But Jen, I'm gonna do something it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be difficult. Your top 5 choices for game unveilings
Fable.
Uh-huh.
Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
Avowed.
Mm-hmm.
South of Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4, right?
Yep.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Good shout. Good shout.
That would be my number 1.
Yeah.
It looks impressive. I just hope Ubisoft can pull it off.
Yeah. For me, I think the one that caught me by surprise was Clockwork Revolution. I think that one's at the top. That one really caught me by surprise, and I love it.
If I had a top 10, that would be in the top 10.
Yeah. Clockwork Revolution, Starfield, which has risen straight near the top there, Fable. Those 3 are standouts from the Xbox show. Star Wars Outlaws absolutely jumped in there. Like I wasn't sure what to expect, but then I seen the gameplay and I was like, yes, absolutely. And I've got to chuck Space Marine 2 in there, to be fair. I loved what I saw. It looks absolutely insane.
That's the problem. There was so much shown.
There was. My top
So
10 would be like
again.
My top 10 would cover a lot of big Xbox announcements. I'd have South of Midnight in there. I wouldn't put Hellblade in there because I don't think it showed enough this time around. As much as I'm looking forward to it, it wasn't a big announcement. But yeah, there was so much.
A top 5 is impossible to have. There's just so many announcements that were good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it was awesome. Awesome show. But that wraps it up. Jen, it wraps it up. We've covered pretty much everything there, so I think we've done a good job in these 2.5 hours. We'll say goodbye to everybody now. So before we do our outros, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. And for audio listeners, of course, this will be up after the show for you guys. But Jen, let people know where they can find you and when you're going to be streaming next.
Yeah, I'll be streaming again, hopefully tomorrow, unless I'm exhausted. But I should be live tomorrow, and Friday as well, and most likely Saturday too. I'll be continuing on to Little Nightmares 2. I'm looking forward to playing that. Absolutely loved the first one and the DLC as well. Tony gifted me the second one as well as the DLC for the first game, so I can't wait to get cracking away at that. I'm itching to play Skyrim again, so I might even stream some of that. But yeah, man, the year's not over yet. There's plenty more showcases coming up. You and Box and Burger are heading to Gamescom in August.
Yep.
And you'll have all of us covered there at their showcases. I believe you're going to do a live stream there as well, right?
Yes, yeah, it's gonna be wacky because there's gonna be a few of us.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome to see. But yeah, then we've got Tokyo Game Show after that, and surely Xbox is going to have a big presence there. They usually do. And then beyond that, we've got the 10-year anniversary of the Game Awards. Yes. So I expect big things there from all the big 3 companies, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft. But yeah, it's a great year for gaming, and 2024 is looking more and more jam-packed than this year is. So it's big time for gamers. Big time for all gamers everywhere.
Yeah, now we're just going to have to magic time travel so we can kind of expand time and we don't run out of it, because I don't know where I'm going to find the time to play all of these games.
Especially with Starfield. I just feel that game
Forza, Mortal Kombat, like Cyberpunk, Avatar, like all within a month or 2 of each other.
Yeah, Starfield is going to cause so much time to slip away. It's a good thing they're giving people a watch with the collector's edition, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, is that the time? Right, best get to bed.
It just starts beeping when it's like 3 a.m. Oh shit, it's that time.
Yeah. Fucking hell. But yes, so that'll wrap up our showcase week for the podcast. You'll see us again next Wednesday we have a nice elongate. Thankfully, a week's break. You'll have a lot to catch up on if you haven't already. We covered all of the showcases on this channel if you haven't tuned into them. So we covered the Summer Game Fest. We covered the Xbox showcase. We covered the Ubisoft showcase. We covered the Xbox Extended showcase. All of those live reactions are on the channel now. In 2K60, so of course you get nice high fidelity streaming on there as well. And you can get to see them with audio. Because we didn't make any money on those. There's no monetization because, of course, they get copyrighted to death with audio up. And it kind of takes the edge off it and takes a shine away from it when you remove the audio from it as well. So it's not worth it. So, yeah, we'll be having a nice week's break. We'll be back again next Wednesday for the Midweek Mix-Up podcast. Until then, guys, I hope
I'm going to quickly post the link to that Mortal Kombat sign up again in the chat for everyone that might have missed it earlier.
Yeah.
If you're interested in Mortal Kombat 1 and you're looking to play it early, the stress test is from the 23rd to the 26th of this month. So get signed up. Hopefully you get a code. Hopefully we all get codes and we can all have a nice jolly time on Mortal Kombat, which is better than Street Fighter.
It's not, and that's at the end of the show there. Yeah, but seriously though, hope you have an awesome night, people. Of course, like, share, and subscribe, and we shall see you all again next week. Have a good one.
Ice and flames call my name. I freeze, I burn, I blame. I love, I hate the same. It's on my face, I cannot hide from the mistake my parents made. I'm never moving on. Not made from love, a remnant of a selfish motive. Was I needed? Do I need it to go wrong? Polarized in hair and pain, pumping through my veins. Ice and flames call my name. I freeze, I burn, I blame. I love, I hate the same. If I embrace the side of me, I only fuel the fire. But is it wrong for me to fight against the balance of my power? History in halves, one brain. I will break the chain. Oh no, tokori wa yobu. Moeru rame koru to boku no ai to kirai ni iru. Oh no,